Right, hello and welcome to another episode of Diplostrats. I'm here once again with Ezio. Hi Ezio.
Hello, hello.
And today we're going to be commentating a game I was playing in. A very interesting game. You'll see why it ends up being interesting as we go along. It's one Ezio has actually seen before, unlike most of the rest of them, because it was interesting enough that I was sending him screenshots of some of what was going on during the game. But I'm very interested to hear your in-depth opinions on these, on what is going to be, yeah, a little bit of an interesting one. Let's just put it that way, Ezio.
We can leave it at that for now.
Before we begin, I just want to quickly say our last tournament, the Diplostrats Gauntlet, over on our Discord server was a great success. In terms of, you know, we. I've screwed that up a bunch. Alright, it was a great success. It went really well. We want to run another one, so we are doing that. We are going to run another one on the 21st of September, I believe. Let me just check that real quick.
Yeah.
Yep, perfect. If you want to find out more information about it, please go ahead and join the Discord server. Check the announcements page, or just ask for more information. We can guide you to it. There'll be a sign-up form there, and also in the description below. Anyway, over to this game. This is Imp Dip All-Stars 2. You may be aware of Imperial Diplomacy. This was played in the Imperial Diplomacy server. It was one of their, like, spin-off classic games. And the all-stars of it isn't because I'm a YouTuber or anything like that. It is purely because they labeled people who won the first set of games as all-stars and then put them into, like, a special game in the second one. So I did quite well in my first, I'll just let that motorbike go past.
It's because he's a YouTuber. Don't let him
Yeah,
fool you.
it really is, of course. But yeah, so the first game went pretty well for me. I did pretty okay. I drew, in this game, England to play as. So I am this England right here. And Ezio, do you have any thoughts on this starting turn for England right here?
Oh, I mean, the start in a gunboat game is really quite wonderful. You love to see it. Because Russia's opening north and you don't open north, so you can't secure Norway. So you might as well just go straight for Belgium. That's great. We love going for Belgium in a gunboat game.
Okay, yeah, I forgot to mention that. This game is Gunboat, which means that you cannot communicate with other players except through, like, supports and stuff like that. You can't actually talk to people. Everything of your negotiation has to be on the board. Something happening with your units, right? Here, my initial strategy was, hey, France has done really well in this first set of IMDIP games, right? So maybe people will be willing to go for, like, more of an aggressive anti-France strategy, which, if it works, it is pretty great for England, I think. Unfortunately here, I was the only person to do anything anti-France on the first turn, and Russia moved up to St. Petersburg, so quite the game right here. Yeah, so do you want to discuss the tactical implications of this?
I mean, yes. So the tactical implication is that Russia, right, by moving up to St. Petersburg, is going to be moving to Norway because that's the only thing that unit ever does. And if England opens north, then England can support themselves into Norway, and then they can actually take it. Um, but you didn't do that, so now obviously it's a bounce to Norway, and so that's probably not worth doing. If we look at Belgium, however, we have two units that can potentially coordinate for Belgium with English Channel and North Sea, or Yorkshire, as the case may be. But because France self-bounced in Burgundy, thankfully we don't have to worry about them messing around with Belgium for us. And Ruhr doesn't have to worry about Belgium, so Ruhr is almost certainly going into Belgium instead of covering Munich or anything. Maybe they're covering Munich because it's early, but probably not. So we really need to support ourselves in there. And we hope that Mid-Atlantic Ocean goes for Portugal and doesn't cover Brest, and they leave Paris to do that. Or tap English Channel would be the really bad one.
Mm-hmm.
Because then, yeah, we could get bounced still.
Yeah.
But yeah, you love to see it.
I'm kind of interested in that opinion because, like, my view on this situation, when I saw what was happening with St. Petersburg now being occupied, I'm like blatantly gonna get bounced out of Norway, right? I've
Yep.
already probably annoyed France by going into English Channel on the first turn. I feel like the absolute most valuable thing on this turn is going to be finding an ally, right? And I kind of hate Belgium, just generally speaking. Belgium is fine when you're negotiating for it, right? When you can get into it and work alongside someone, but at the same time, it can be a bit of a uh, problem as well if you go in, especially in a gunboat game, because Belgium is a very easy thing for people to target, right? So it's a natural target for Germany, it's a natural target for France. If I support myself into Belgium this turn, I feel like I might just be declaring myself as the easy person to beat up for everyone.
Well, you certainly have to support yourself in from English Channel at least. If you're not convoying in, you at least have to take it.
I guess we'll see what I do. Do you want to look at the rest of the board here, or anything you want to point out about the rest of the board?
It's pretty standard stuff. Bounce in Black Sea, bounce in Galicia. It's always nice in a gunboat game. Feels really good as Austria to get that done. Um, so yeah, I mean it's pretty standard stuff. Lepanto is probably going on. Italian units in Tyrolia. We'll see. Like I don't know. I don't think there's anything too crazy. It's just standard at one.
Yeah, it is very, very standard, and it should be noted, like, not attacking Austria as Italy in Gunboat is actually fairly common at a high level. People try and work together despite not being able to talk, right? And Italy-Austria is actually... It's not that tough to coordinate between the two of them in a Gunboat game. It's not as tough as you would think, because a lot of what they are doing is independent of one another, right? Until they need to, like, support into Aegean or something like that. Even then, you don't really need to. Italy can just try and slip into Eastern Med or something like that.
Yep.
So, yeah, shall we go ahead to the fall?
Let's do it.
Alright, fall 1901, and you are already going to get angry with me, I am sure.
Huh. I remember. This one, you just can't do it, man. You gotta get a build.
Uh, so,
Like, come on, man.
okay, so what I said about, like, I think finding an ally is the most important thing in this situation, right? And throwing a support on Germany's unit is pretty solidly declaring I want an alliance with you. Especially considering I'm giving up a build to do it. And hopefully, Diplostrat Siren in the background, hopefully it should allow me also to have a friend to work with up in the north here in Scandinavia. I really wanted to bounce Russia out of St. Petersburg, out of Norway, for one, because it keeps that unit in St. Petersburg, means they can't build a fleet to follow up. But also, if I can get Germany on side there, I think Russia can be pushed out pretty reasonably. It's a bit awkward not to get a build. That's
You
definitely
know how else
true.
Russia could be pushed out pretty easily?
Go ahead.
Is if you had built an extra fleet, and then you could build a fleet in Edinburgh, and then move North Sea to Skagerrak, and then get bounced out of, and then get kicked out of Belgium and retreat that in North Sea, and then you got a bunch of units on Norway.
Yeah, but
But
then you
no.
might not have Germany on side, right? And if Germany is on Russia's side, you are never going to get into Scandinavia. That is
Yeah,
just...
but you also might not have Germany on side anyways, because as you see, Germany supported Russia into Sweden.
Yep, that is a
So
bit of
your
an issue.
support probably isn't going to get Germany on side anyways.
Well, I was hoping it would. I think it's like not a horrible play to attempt to get an ally on side here.
Do you want to tell us who France was, by the way, in this game?
Oh yeah, okay. So people who have watched a lot of Diplostrat's videos will know the name Salt. He was in the biggest game of all time. He was also in Hellenic Diplomacy with Ezio, and he was in Imperial Diplomacy with me. And I do not have a good relationship with Salt, but thankfully this game was anonymous, so neither of us knew who one another were. But this player here
That helps.
is Salt.
God, I didn't know that it was anonymous. Okay.
Yeah,
Because
so
after the fact, we see who the players were after in the post game. And to be clear, when you say you have a bad relationship with Salt, you guys just fight each other all the time in game.
Yes.
For whatever reason, you guys just your play styles do not mesh nicely.
So we will see whether they do when I actually, don't know who he is, and he doesn't know who I am. It'll be interesting
Yep.
to see. But
Um,
this isn't horrendous, right? Because Russia can't build a fleet in the north. France
oh no,
also
this
can't
is
build a fleet
horrendous.
in the north.
This is horrendous. Yes.
Okay. Yes, it's horrendous. It's not as horrendous as it could possibly be.
Yes, I do agree. It is not the literal worst position I've seen in England be in the fall of '01, but an England with 0 builds, where Germany and Russia seem to be coordinating, where France has made a bunch of moves to make peace with Germany at the start, and France is going +2. At least France also can't build a fleet in Brest, right? So our only hopes are that France and Russia, because they can't build fleets aggressively against us, decide to go after other people for relatively little reason. Um, yep.
Yeah, I do remember seeing the results of this full turn, and especially being a little sad that Germany didn't take my support here. Although obviously what they did here was correct, right? They noticed that
Yep.
Italy could snipe. They went for Munich. I didn't see that possibility when I was looking at here, but I'm hoping the failed support, even though it failed, still gets Germany on side with me. It should get me an ally, I hope. And both of the
Mm-hmm.
other players who could attack me not having any northern fleets, well, apart from Sweden, but not having any northern fleet builds, will hopefully be a benefit. It's not.
Yeah.
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 So.
Hopefully. I agree. I like being optimistic.
Okay. Is there anything you want to look at anywhere else on the board here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about builds for you, so let's see what the rest of the board's building.
Okay, well, let's go ahead to
How
winter.
can you give up a build in '01, man?
Look,
God,
an
it's so
alliance.
important.
Alliance is so important in gunboat diplomacy. It's like,
Yeah,
especially
but a
in
random
this kind of
support into
position.
Belgium doesn't give you an alliance.
It could. It certainly shows willing. If
It
you
might,
see an
but you know
England
what taking
supporting you
Belgium does?
into, it gives you a build, but no
Gives you a
alliance.
build.
And if Germany turns on me here and just works with Russia, then I am a bit screwed, right? Even if I go into Belgium, I am still a bit screwed in that circumstance. That's my view on it. um, I do
Maybe,
think.
but if France decides to work with you and you take Belgium, then maybe you can hold.
Yeah, it's possible. I was also just a bit nervous about the fact that France will have seen that I moved against them on the first turn, right? And
Yeah,
that's
but then you take
something.
Belgium.
It's still something that an England only does if they are quite paranoid about the French strength, just in general in the game, right? You don't tend to see people open to English Channel all that often in Gunboat, and you can see exactly
true.
why on this turn.
Yeah.
It's not gone very well. In the event that Russia moves north with this army Moscow, it leaves you in an absolutely horrible position. Pretty
Yeah.
horrendous. Okay, so let's go
There's a
to.
reason, yeah, this is non-standard. And, I mean, it's unfortunate when you go for a non-standard thing and just get absolutely punished on just a random chance, because Russia doesn't always open north. It's relatively uncommon.
Especially
So,
in Gunboat, right? You don't see it all that often.
yeah.
Moscow to Ukraine
Yeah.
is much more common.
Yep. Usually Russia's and gunboats feel scared about the south, and so it takes them so effort to go north, but
You'll
oh
note that
well.
this opening as Russia has actually left them unable to take Romania without giving Black Sea up in '01, which is, yeah, I would not expect a Russia to do this, to just let Romania be completely unoccupied in order to focus on the north in '01, especially because if I had gone into Norwegian Sea, this move would have done literally nothing, this move up to St. Petersburg. I would have been able to convoy in. They could have gone to Finland and then built another unit, which is probably what they would have done if I'd done that. But it's still just not very. That's still quite a slow opening and gives up a lot in the south in order to do it. So I feel like I got quite unlucky to be countered by this.
Yep.
But yeah, so let's go ahead to winter 1901 then, and see the
Yep.
builds. I do like Italy putting down 2 units when they weren't allowed to, so only getting fleet Naples. But that is the build you would want here anyway. And there is one build here that really upsets me. Can you see which one it is, Ezio?
Well, it's the Northern Fleet.
Yep. Fleet Kiel. I mean, I completely understand the German building a fleet. I think they kind of need a fleet in order to contest Scandinavia. The second fleet always comes down. But if they were allying with me, it should be in Berlin. Every time.
No, but you don't want to tell Russia that.
Look, okay.
Kiel is just more flexible, man.
It's really important to signal in these games when you're committing to an alliance, otherwise the other person can assume that you're not committing to the alliance, right? It's not like Russia can particularly contest if Germany puts down Fleet Berlin and supports themselves into Baltic. Yeah, they can move St. Petersburg to Finland, but if I'm working with Germany, then I will just help Germany into Sweden anyway, right? I'll go to Norway first and then help them in. But Germany has gone with this unit, which is much more flexible and which doesn't commit them to an alliance with me, and that makes me very sad because I just spent my entire, I just gave up a build in order to try and commit to an alliance with them.
Yep.
Sad times.
Very sad times.
On the plus
And
side...
this, ladies and gentlemen, for the audience at home, this is why, in a gunboat game, we don't sacrifice our own potential growth to try to make somebody else ally with us in 01. Okay, great.
Okay.
Now that this is a very good learning experience. Now, what do we actually do to survive, dude?
Okay.
I think we just go back to Norwegian and North Sea, because France didn't build a fleet, right? So France is on side.
Yeah, so this is one thing I noticed, right? You've got no fleet Marseille. That is like the only upside of this situation, I think. So you might be able to trust France here. The problem, like, with trusting France is that if you ever leave Liverpool unguarded, France can very easily slip in even if they have been working with you for some time. So an alliance with France is super valuable in this situation because it is an alliance with someone, and I really need that. But at the same time, if Germany and Russia just come crashing into me, it's not going to help me a lot. France will probably just be opportunistic and grab Liverpool at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah. So it does...
What else are you gonna do?
That is the question, right? What else can you possibly do in this situation? What is the defense? Because if Germany and Russia are coming for you, there basically isn't a defense. You're dead.
Uh-huh.
Shall we see what my defense was if we go to the next turn?
Yep.
Alright, spring 1902.
Can't believe you. just, I just can't believe you did this in a real game against real people. Oh my god. I like to set up for the next game before I resign, right? So I put my pieces back on their starting position and I just get nice and ready to then leave and walk away from the table. And then nobody needs to worry about it. And this is what we do. We got our pieces set up for the next game.
Okay, so this is partially a meme, right? It's definitely somewhat a meme. I don't need to move. For example, Yorkshire into Liverpool is just dumb. It should stay in Yorkshire here. Moving everything back into the home dots, it's kind of a funny thing to do, but it does have a strategic backing to it, right? What I want to be doing here is showing people, okay, I'm going to turtle up as hard as I can. I'm going to make it as hard as I can for anyone to take a dot off of me from my homeland, but I'm not going to get in your way of attacking anyone else, right? So Germany has now a route to attack Scandinavia. They're in North Sea, which is really powerful. They have this unit on Belgium as well. You know, they can force their way that way. Hell, they could even go past me into English Channel. Maybe France is now invited into English Channel as well, right? They're basically being told, hey, this is this is open to you. I'm not going to be the one supporting you forward. You'll have to do that yourself because I am going to go back, sit in my home SCs, and protect them.
Yep.
It's a super unusual strategy because usually you would really want to keep North Sea at the very least. North Sea is a really bad province to lose. You can hold people off for a long time by just holding there.
Yep.
But I think that if I retreat immediately to my home dots, there's more chance that those people who are coming in to attack me won't be able to coordinate properly. Because if they're, like, advancing slowly, it's much more obvious what they need to do to coordinate. These are, like... Yeah, it's very questionable whether this is actually a good idea, I think.
I don't think it's questionable.
I think it has some strategic viability. I wouldn't have played it if I thought it had no strategic viability, right?
Okay.
But also, I kind of did want to go, hey, this is a funny thing to do after this turn. I'm certainly not going to gain any dots here, right? Germany and Russia are definitely aligned, you can see.
Yeah, or like in the next 3 years, probably.
Yeah, but I wouldn't gain a dot even if I stayed in North Sea and English Channel. And this way, I'm at least sending a message saying, hey, I'm not gonna go out and overextend or anything. I am just going to make your life hell if you come for my dots. And slow you down as much as humanly possible.
But just to be clear, we're not slowing them down as much as humanly possible, because that would have been fighting to defend the North Sea, and then once they take the North Sea, then retreating that to Edinburgh, and then slowing them down there, drawing the hard line.
I misspoke there. Slow them down as much as humanly possible when they hit my SCs.
Yes.
But I
say, you shall not land a unit on the British mainland. We shall fight forever.
Yes, I'm taking the standard British isolationist approach, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I am Brexiting. We are not involved in Europe anymore. You can have your own little war. I am just going to sit here and not get involved. That is
so one of the things to point out, right, is that because you backed out of North Sea, and you let Germany into the North Sea, Germany now isn't threatening Sweden.
This is true.
And so because of this move, because we've relinquished all potential threat against Russia or Germany, Russia and Germany are both able to make moves that ended up exposing themselves to each other, Sweden to Norway and Denmark to North Sea, but because they both work, we have strengthened their alliance. We've shown that they've made some quick progress against us, and now North Sea is probably able to support Norway into Norwegian, while St. Petersburg moves into Norway. Things are advancing really rapidly, and they are not in any danger to each other. So I expect from this position, Germany and Russia to just continue to work together and for us to die. And it's going to take years because we are England and we're just holed up and turtling, but we only have 3 units to defend, and best case, there are 4 provinces from the convoy into: Clyde, Eddy, Yorkshire, and London. So eventually we're going to break. So I just absolutely hate this strategy. I think this is absolutely insane. If you want to convince them to attack each other, just throw taps on Norway, right? Maybe something slips through. But we didn't even know what Kiel was doing, man. Kiel could have been moving into the Baltic Sea.
It wasn't. They would have built Berlin every time to move into Baltic Sea.
No. I build Kiel every time. Period. Because Kiel can also move into the Baltic Sea.
It can, but it's not committing to doing that, and so England has a fair assumption to make that you are just going to attack them, which is what they did. Look, they came to
It is what they did. You are correct. I'm just saying that if I had been Germany in this situation, I move into the Baltic Sea and you move into Edinburgh from the North Sea, I would have been so pissed. It would have made me attack you. I would have not taken Sweden. I said, nope, 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 nope.
But you would have
We're
had two
killing
on.
this
You would
England.
have had two on Sweden to one
I
enemy, right?
wouldn't. I because I can't trust you as an ally anymore.
You don't
We're
think
done.
that it's
Oops. I,
justified?
I was trying to
You
work with England here, but they decided to go turtle up into a shell. Sorry, Russia. My bad.
okay? So
Rotate.
remember that Germany supported Russia into Sweden and then built Fleet Keel, right? Do you really
Yeah,
not
that's not fair.
think like it's reasonable for me to assume that Germany is going to attack me after that?
Yeah, I think it's reasonable to assume that for sure. I just don't think the reasonable way to handle the assumption of them attacking you is to back out of North Sea.
Okay, fair enough. Do you want to talk about the South at all, or shall we move along? Um,
I think we should look at the south a little bit because things are going pretty well. There's the Lepanto going on between Austria and Italy, and there's what looks to be a standard juggernaut forming. Turkey's rotating their fleets out, so Turkey's probably going to be safe. Like this is just yeah, it's a nice clean game. And then there's that fun thing because of the two army builds from France. Um, Italy thought that Army Marseille was moving into Piedmont, so Italy moved to roll into Piedmont to bounce that. I like that idea. I also thought Marseille was going to Piedmont, so that was clean. And France, meanwhile, has four armies and is going to be completely unkillable forever.
yep, that is probably true, and you can see some support signaling going on here. So Tunis, this is something that Backstabber allows you to do, right? Is entering completely invalid orders, like Tunis support Munich into Burgundy. So
Yeah.
Italy is saying, "Hey Germany, I would like you to attack France," and Germany is saying, "Hey Italy, I would like you to get out of Tyrolia," which Italy does do. So it looks like there's some degree of coordination going on there, but the actual Italian attack on France is pretty ineffective because it doesn't have any fleets. It's just this one unit in Piedmont, so
Yeah, but it's potentially useful, especially if Germany had managed to bounce Burgundy and stuff. Like it can be annoying for sure.
yes, it can definitely cut stuff, and
Yeah.
potentially slip into Marseille in some configurations, although this doesn't feel like one of those.
No, Army and Gascony makes Marseille invincible.
Yep.
All
Shall
right.
we go ahead to the fall?
Yeah, let's go ahead to the fall.
Alright, fall 1902.
And we have our thumbnail, right?
Yes, assuming Backstabber loads for me, which it hasn't
It's
done
not loading for me either, but I remember
Oh,
this turn.
there we go. Yeah, there's the thumbnail. Edinburgh to Yorkshire, London to Yorkshire, Liverpool to Yorkshire. Those of you who are familiar with diplomacy articles may know this as the Yorkshire Pudding opening. It happens in spring 1901. It's supposed to be an infamous opening, but interestingly, when I got hold of the WebDip stats, I found out it had only been played 30 times, ever. Which is... That surprised me quite a lot, because I would have thought more people would meme. But I did it a year and a half late, right? Fall 1902, everything goes to Yorkshire, and I think for some strategic reason here, you kind of want to keep everything. Well, I want to keep everything more or less where it is, and declare that hey, I'm not moving out of these dots, and I also want to protect Yorkshire against a German convoy, if that's gonna happen. So yeah, this is what I do for this turn. Defend the Isles. Except, of course, there is a creeping threat coming in, and I'm now completely surrounded by other players' units. Norwegian, North Sea, and English Channel.
Yep.
Would you have played this turn differently, by any chance?
I actually probably would have done. I no, I would have. Oh God, I would have stopped. I would have bounced Norwegian. I would have tapped North Sea and then Eddie to Norwegian. Uh, but I don't know. Like, I would never put myself in this position, right? I have never been England and said, no, 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 no. You take the North Sea in spring of '02. So I don't know what's correct or not. But yeah, if you just said, hey, Ezio, you're in this position now, like you're trying to win this game with no end date. Um, Maybe I support North Sea to English Channel and tap Norwegian Sea. I think that's what I would have done here. But the Yorkshire pudding, the memes, like I understand you got to make content, and this is a good way to make some content.
Yeah, yeah. It's extremely important to get that thumbnail image. This is, although I think
Yeah.
Germany kind of ruined the thumbnail image by throwing a support through it. Like, this is a
We can
clear.
go into visual editing software, just like change the angle of that support a little bit. It's fine.
Uh, but yeah, you will see Germany is basically asking me, hey, be a vassal here. I'm not going to do
Yeah.
that. They are saying, hey, get out of London. They're supporting London to English Channel, for those who don't know what this support is. And they are saying, hey, go in there, help me against France. And I guess they would then say, hey, I'll help you if you do that. I do not think I would be helped if I did that. I think they would walk into London behind me. So I am not leaving my dots. I
Yeah.
am not leaving them unguarded here.
Very reasonable.
Yeah. So big threat alert. This army moving into Norway is probably going to get convoyed over to Clyde on the next turn. Thankfully, I have a lot of ways to defend against that, right? It could also get convoyed into Edinburgh and supported by Germany. So I have to kind of make a bit of a guess on what to defend. Or I could just let the convoy go through if it's Clyde, just defend Edinburgh in case it's that. And then, take the guess on the next turn instead, because I will still be in a position to potentially defend myself.
Yeah, you can cover yourself from a lot by tapping North Sea with London and then self-bouncing in Clyde. Um, that
Yes.
means that if the convoy happens, it doesn't get anywhere for sure. Um, the scary part is that leaves Yorkshire open, but like we talked about, you've only got 3 units and 4 places for the convoy into, so you can't cover everything. And hopefully Germany doesn't feel they have the luxury of convoying over to Yorkshire with their fronts being fully manned against France. So hopefully we're okay. But that's what scares me.
Yeah, it is a little worrying. I was certainly worried about the convoys to Yorkshire here when I was looking at it. We do still have a winter phase before we get to that, but there is some interesting stuff going on in the south that we should probably talk
Yeah,
about.
the South is very exciting. So remember how we talked about this board looking like a classic juggernaut? Well, Russia decides to stab Turkey for Ankara at the first possible opportunity. Um, and doesn't go for Romania. So Turkey is down on two, and Turkey is clopped. But also, Italy tried to stab Austria.
Yes, they did. So they tried to convoy into Greece with support from Aegean, which feels to me like it's extremely optimistic. Like, Aegean is surely getting cut most of the time here, right?
Yeah, because tactically, um, Italy was all. I thought Italy was practically 100% to support Aegean into Eastern Med. Um, because that's a strength too. So the only counter to that would be the moves that Turkey did by supporting Eastern Med into Aegean. I think if you want to take Greece, you have to take it from Aegean, because of this.
Yes.
But I suppose it's not the end of the world to have Aegean get popped because you now build an army in Venice, and then you can convoy to Albania and still have two armies on the Austrian front. Um, yikes.
Yeah. So yeah, this is I
Really
mean,
bad news for us.
Austria is doing really, really well though on this front.
Yeah.
There, right? And Russia has also just got into Ankara behind the Turk. So Turkey is in a bit of a trouble, like in a bit of trouble. Not that much trouble because they can just support themselves into Ankara, and the Lepanto has clearly like disintegrated at this point. But it's powering up Russia a little bit more, and I don't like the idea of Russia being powered up a little bit more here.
Yeah. Okay, so I know that you hate building fleets. Do you think Russia should build a fleet instead here?
I feel like this is one of the few situations where I do endorse Russia building fleets. Especially, I tend to prefer attacking Turkey through a convoy into Ankara. I think that's generally much more effective. And in that circumstance, you don't need the extra fleet in Sevastopol. But if you've parked your fleet in Ankara, it's kind of important to have something come to the Black Sea. That said, because Ankara is getting knocked out this turn, almost certainly, maybe building an army is fine, and just covering Black Sea with the Ankara fleet is fine.
Yeah, I agree. I think just build an army in Sev. And then you can build a fleet in St. Pete, North Coast, and clap the England upside the.
Yes. All right.
Real talk though, I don't think Russia's supposed to build a fleet in St. Pete here. The argument is that this front is already going so well, and Austria is getting really big as Russia. Just if I'm Russia, I'm scared of that. And yes, Italy and Russia and Austria are probably going to be at odds, but Austria has enough units that Austria can afford to leave only a couple to deal with Italy for a while, and I don't want them to feel that they can grow against me. If I'm Russia, I'm really happy that Austria's only building one this turn because they have their home SCs covered despite being +2. But I think I'm going to stand to gain more by building an extra army in Warsaw and potentially attacking Austria than I would by building a fleet in the north coast of St. Petersburg and trying to make slow progress against this England.
I think you're almost certainly correct. Like, this Austria is way too powerful to just be left to its own devices. And building fleet in the north does kind of... It indicates... I think it's good if you're trying to throw, like, a message of, hey, Austria, I want to work with you to them. But Austria doesn't have to follow that, right? They're strong enough to just go after you, and they're mostly armies, so you are the most appealing direction to them as well.
Yeah, it is tough with Italy stabbing and Turkey probably getting back on their feet pretty quickly here. So I don't know if I think Austria doesn't have the luxury of completely attacking us right now. Assuming Italy tries to keep fighting. If Italy tries to back out and say, "Hey, all right, fine, I went for the stab, but you blocked it. Well done." And if Italy builds a fleet in Naples, then all right, I think we're done. But assuming Italy builds an army Venice, I think Austria's position is going to be pretty tough to navigate.
I think there's definitely some possibility that Italy doesn't build army here. I don't actually remember what they built, but I'd certainly be wanting to counter the Austrian threat, but I also can see the argument for, hey, you kind of just want to peace out with the massive power next to you who could ruin your life, right? And see if they'll go a different direction while you do your own thing.
Yep.
Right, so
Let's
shall
see
we?
some builds
Yeah, let's go ahead to
for
Winter.
other countries.
Winter 1902. Army Warsaw, Army Sevastopol. They are following the Ezio school of builds here. Fleet Kiel from the German, which I don't like to see, but it is what it is.
We've lost
right?
all ability to control anything, anyways, so it's fine. But yeah, Fleet Trieste and Fleet Venice. So Fleet Trieste is really anti-Italian. Fleet Venice is an interesting one. It's a nice defensive option because you don't leave Venice open, but the fleet is much less anti-Austrian. This, I think, was a great middle ground. It was Italy trying to say, hey, I want to be at peace with you, but also I'm not going to let myself just die. Unfortunate.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that turns out. And of course, those are the only builds on the board. We do see Aegean come off for Turkey, which I think is the correct one.
God, yes.
Yeah, means you can take Ankara back. They do have to hope that Austria doesn't just tap them in Constantinople.
Yep.
But I think as Austria, I'd be tempted to just let them do their thing. Actually, would I? I think I might like to just tap Constantinople in the hope that they move Constantinople to Ankara and I get it.
I would for sure not do it because I want Turkey and Russia to be somewhat balanced. And actually, maybe Tapikon helps with that. I feel like with the army Sev, I think it's pretty likely that Sev goes to Armenia to try to help keep that on lock. And so I would be worried that if I tap Constantinople, I'm giving too much strength to Russia.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I want them both to be on 2, just bouncing in Ankara forever. And I don't want to disrupt that balance. So But actually, then I need to tap Khan, or else they lose Ankara this turn, or else Russia loses Ankara, and then Turkey might get onto 3. And if Turkey gets on 3, that's really bad. Yeah, I take
Yeah.
it back. I take it back. I was supposed to tap Khan. All right.
I guess we'll see what they decide to do. Yeah. So we have power rankings to do. I am I gonna be put at the bottom of them, or do you think Turkey deserves to be lower than me here?
No, no, you are in a way worse position than Turkey. Are you kidding me? No, your position is not even anywhere remotely close to as good as Turkey's.
Look,
Jesus.
okay. Turkey is on 2 dots, I am on 3 dots, therefore I am superior, right? I've got all 3.
Yeah, except you have 3 hostile units in Norwegian, North Sea, and English Channel that are all potentially going to brutalize you.
Okay,
You
but
can't hold.
notably,
Yeah.
notably, they are not, like, it is Gunboat. None of them belong to the
Yes.
same powers. They all have to
True.
coordinate in order to actually make progress. So, I
True.
think I could get away with it.
Maybe. You might not be literally dead. But Turkey also isn't literally dead. There's no hostile fleet in Aegean. Austria and Italy are definitely going to be fighting. And so it's unclear if Bulgaria is actually going to fight Turkey or not. And Turkey is probably going to retake Ankara. And if Russia decides, hey, I've lost Ankara, I'm just going to take Romania instead, and gives Turkey back Ankara, suddenly Turkey's back in the juggernaut.
Yeah, fair, I guess. I'm still like I feel like I should be upbeat about my position here. I'm certainly on the cusp of recovering, I'm sure.
On the cusp of starting the recovery, whereas Turkey is literally potentially building this year and will have no enemies.
Okay, that is a fair point. I have nowhere to get built, and there is no way I'm gonna get out of the British Isles to get built anytime soon.
Yes,
So
especially with Germany building another fleet.
yes, my objective right now is survival. First,
Yes.
like pure and simple. So.
All right, wonderful.
Alright, so you've put England at the bottom and then I guess Turkey directly above that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Turkey is the next. Although, honest to God, I might rather play this Turkey than this Italy, but that's just because I don't like playing Italy.
Yeah. Italy with Fleet Venice as well just feels kind of... I mean, it's not the worst thing ever, but with an Austria this strong, it just feels like there's not a lot of places you can get out of your homeland, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, that is okay, right? We don't need to be. We try to be peaceful with Austria, so but not let them take anything from us, right? It's the same thing you did by saying, "Hey, I'm not trying to attack you, but also you can't take any of my centers," and probably just going to convoy Tunis back into Apulia to be locked in and safe, right? So
Yes, notably...
I think Italy's in a very safe position and secure, but also I don't see much growth in the near future, so I think Italy is definitely the next worst.
Notably, it's the same thing that I did, except they have 1 unit adjacent to their home supply centers right now, where I have 3.
Yeah, and they're only occupying the home center of theirs that's like actually under threat right now. They didn't just pull back everything, and they did it by building instead of retreating and pulling. I mean, they had to lose Aegean, but whatever. Italy's position is still fine. Yours is not. The next, I think France is worse than Germany here. And I think it's between those two for the next bottom because I think that like France has a bunch of armies and is never going to get anywhere. And because France has a bunch of armies, Germany's not going to get anywhere with those armies. But Germany has an extra fleet in Kiel and an extra fleet in the North Sea, and there's a chance that they can slip into somewhere and do something. So I'll put Germany above France. And I think it's definitely between Austria and Russia for first place, and I'm certain it's Russia on first and Austria on second, because Austria has more neighbors, and Russia's in the corner with no enemies, except maybe Turkey.
Yeah, Russia doesn't feel that strong right now just looking at them, right? Which I think is actually a pretty big advantage, because it means they're not likely to get coalition in the same way that, like, Austria here might. So, yeah, I think I'd agree with your power rankings. I'm certainly disappointed to be at the bottom of them, but I'm not
You also
surprised.
don't disagree.
I don't particularly disagree. Shall we move ahead to spring 1903?
Let's do it.
All right. So, um, yeah, Backstabbers being a little slow today. There we go. Okay. So here, I decide, hey, I want to try and make a push for the North Sea, right? Primarily because I want to enable some kind of German attack against Russia. That was my thinking here, and I was hoping, hey, they probably won't expect any kind of attack from the North Sea. Also, I kind of had to cut North Sea anyway just to prevent a convoy into Edinburgh, a supported convoy in, so, like, why not support that? And I think it actually works out really well.
I think this was practically best possible turn for you.
Yes. And I think the one downside to this turn is I did move Liverpool to Yorkshire, right, to try and make sure that if Germany does something like Holland support hold North Sea and Belgium gets convoyed across to Yorkshire, which I think is actually a pretty good move in this situation, it doesn't go through. But unfortunately, it doesn't get bounced, so this unit in Clyde, I have a bit of a dilemma here in that I might need to support hold Edinburgh or go back and cover Liverpool, and I can't do both. But the fact that...
Well, North Sea can support Eddie now.
Like, you really don't think North Sea is getting tapped by anything?
I mean, who's going to tap it?
I guess the German unit in Heligoland and Holland would be...
Alright, but I think that Helgoland is probably going to go to Denmark to stop you from taking Denmark. And we can see retreats, so we saw that he retreated into Norway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not pro-Russia. So I could see Germany moving to Denmark to try to take Sweden. And Holland, yeah. But France just took Belgium, so there's a chance that Holland doesn't do that and instead tries to retake Belgium or something. Not that it's going to be successful, but...
Mm-hmm. Actually, the more important thing looking at it now is France might just walk into London. Or convoy into London. Which I
France
think
might walk into London.
Pretty like high probability things to happen right now.
I feel like if France is attacking you, France just convoys to Wales though and like
that is probably
laughs at us. And says, "Ha, I'm France."
Yes, if they get the convoy to Wales off, my life is ruined. And this strategy doesn't work very well.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're trying to fight back against the convoy into Clyde, which is already pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm surprised that Germany retreats to Norway here. If I'm honest, I think Germany could have quite easily used this as an excuse to just retreat to Denmark, right? In which case they then can just walk into Sweden on the next turn and do a stab that way without it being quite as obvious immediately to Russia that they need to be on their guard.
I mean, plus Sweden's literally undefended, right? So
yes. So I would have retreated to Denmark in this situation, but they decided to retreat to Norway, and I am very happy about it, right? This is exactly what I need. I need something to crack, and something has cracked, and so that's maybe my way back into the game. Although...
Yeah, we just have to, like, win the guess here, and France needs to not attack us and stay on course against Germany. But if these things happen, we have a chance to not lose the center next year.
Yes. Oh my god. Alright.
Because, again, our position over Edinburgh and Liverpool, or Eddie and Liverpool, isn't getting better, right? If we guess correctly and we block them, we still have a guess next phase. And the phase after. And the phase after. Right, and it just keeps being a 50-50 until we break. Because if we correctly guess and we just support hold Eddie, we're still in Yorkshire and Eddie, and we're not covering Liverpool yet. So our position does not improve in that tactical guess. The rest of the global board does, and maybe we can get other people to save us by having them start tapping Norwegian or something, and we can give ourselves the luxury of holding Eddie from Liverpool. But as is, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, So, how long can Russia feasibly keep those units on the board and attacking me is a big question here, right? Because
Yep.
if they're losing Scandinavia, they've got nothing up in the north to defend that, apart from Norwegian Sea. They've got no armies down here. They've kind of surrounded the Austrian front, and in order to do that, they've moved everything away from St. Petersburg. They've got no defenses. So
Yep.
I think they might need to take Clyde off sooner rather than later, as long as I can win the guessing games here.
Yes, absolutely. If we win, if this is obviously the most important guess, the guess this year is always the most important guess. But um, Russia is getting Romania this turn because we haven't looked. We're not talking about the global state of the Russian position. So Romania is going to get captured for sure, and then maybe something else gets captured as well. Potentially Vienna. Um, we'll see later. But this is if Russia doesn't have a disband, then it's really bad for you. Really, really, really bad.
Yep. But I mean, I'm anticipating really bad since spring 1901, basically. So if anything goes well, I'm pretty happy about it.
Our position could have been playable.
I really don't think the position would have been any more playable if I defended North Sea, right?
No, I meant in spring, in the fall of '01, taking Belgium.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
take Belgium from English Channel. If you don't want a convoy, I understand not wanting the convoy, fine. But just take it and build. Build, CaptainMeme. We need units.
Okay.
Maybe Russia would have been our friend if we let them into Norway and just say, screw it, dude. Let's go kill Germany, man. I don't know. Anyways,
I don't think that's likely, right? I don't think that Russia was going to turn on Germany, with Germany supporting them into Sweden on that turn.
oh, that's my favorite time to attack Germany.
What, just when...
Yeah, they gave me the best position to attack them.
I don't know. I'd still be concerned that England would then fight their way back into Scandinavia, right?
Maybe.
You can just go with the easy alliance here and wipe England off the board. Which...
Maybe. Again, different Russias do different things. The point is, we would have had more units to defend ourselves. It might have been a playable position, and we don't know what they would have done in the different universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, it's fine. One of the things that I want to point out, though, is this Austrian position making 0 successful moves this phase because of one convoy into Albania that bounced 3 Austrian units. That's very sad.
Yes. Although it means they keep Romania, amusingly.
Yes, they don't lose Romania in the spring, but again in the fall, we'll see.
Well, they have the defense. No, they don't have the defenses on Romania. Never mind. They can get cut in too many places. But they did try and support Russia into Constantinople here, which actually would have kept Russia's unit in place.
Yeah. If they'd done the tap on Con, like you said, they would have just ended up in Con.
I think they're probably happier not ending up in Constantinople now that Russia's moved full scale against them, because now at least they have someone who might be a friend in Turkey. And you need a friend somewhere.
Yep. No, that's very reasonable.
Especially a friend with fleets is very nice, as Austria.
Well, I'm expecting those fleets to move up against Russia, not move against Italy here.
Yeah, but the fleets...
Man, look at how good this Turkish position is, dude.
It has gotten a lot better all of a sudden. I would be a bit tempted as Russia to... oh no, that's not going to work. I was like, maybe offer a support, like put in a support of Ankara to Constantinople in case they try and self-bounce Con. But I think they probably don't self-bounce Con, right? They just send Smyrna there. There's no reason
I think it's a
not to.
very reasonable move for them to make because they want to build a fleet in Con, to have a fleet in Con and Ankara. They want another fleet in general. They can force Black Sea then. So I would really consider self-bouncing Con for sure.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the in that case, the support would work pretty well. I guess we'll see whether that happens. Anything else you want to talk about on this phase?
Did we mention that France took Belgium and forced the disband there?
I don't think we mentioned that, no. But
Yeah,
France did.
because that's a big thing to talk about, because it means that Germany's position is deteriorating rapidly. Despite this nice move effective against Russia, that's going to cut Scandinavia out from the Russian position. Losing Belgium feels bad. They're thankfully not in danger of losing anything more because this is the extent of the line that France can make against Germany, which is why I just hate this war. But it's just like, okay, fine. Germany's down one, and France is probably building a fleet, so we're
I
probably gonna die next year.
I very much dislike the idea of France building a fleet, of course, but there's nothing I can do about it here, so I
Yeah,
just have
yeah,
to.
yeah. From your strategic position as England, you don't want them building a fleet.
So
Yeah.
this actually tied into some of my thinking of what I do on the next turn, but we can move to the next turn, I think.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go to full 1903. So yeah, I do come straight back into London with North Sea.
Nice guess.
Yeah, I did get the right guess here. There was actually some thought behind this guess, but I can't remember what it was. So we
Yeah.
may as well just treat it as a guess, I suppose.
You got it.
But it was correct, so it works out all right. My thinking with going back to London, for one, I really want to protect London, have something in place there if I need to, in case France goes in or in case France convoys into Wales. But also, from this position, I kind of want to make the French move in front of me. I want to keep saying, hey, I'm going to be isolationist, I'm going to defend myself. If you want to make progress, you do it. I'm not keeping you out of North Sea or anything. But I'm thinking to myself, hey, if I can get those French fleets, like, forward and into combat with the German, that means they're not coming for Liverpool or anything like that, right? So I don't want to be on the front line. I don't want to be pushing my own units forward, just because I won't have enough units at home to defend it properly. If I do that, France is just so much more powerful than me right now. I don't want to be an enemy with France, but I also don't want to be like a janissary pushing forward. I just want to be sitting here on my centers for the moment.
Sure. Sounds good.
Do you agree with that play?
I mean, I don't think you can leave your centers because they will take them. But we need to see builds, and I think, like, we've established that you don't care about the North Sea as a center, as a province. You think that it's the worst province in the game, and why would England want to hold the North Sea?
Look, okay, that is not what I'm saying.
I'm glad that's the position that we've established. You haven't said it, but your moves have made it pretty clear. So
Okay, I think it's North Sea is so valuable, right, to everyone that if, as England, you say I do not care about North Sea, everyone else might be too busy fighting over it to kill you.
that's that's great. I'm glad, and I hope that works for you. Russia has to disband, so Clyde's probably coming off.
Which would
Guess
be
you got the guess right.
a huge benefit to me. Russia did
That's
actually manage
nuts.
to get into Romania, but
Yep.
they lost Norway and Ankara at the same time. So yeah, down one.
Yep.
Austria
And-
also not looking great.
Austria's looking terrible here. Losing Trieste like that feels awful.
Yes.
Thankful, and losing Romania too. So despite Austria being down one this year, here they're still disbanding because they lost two centers. Oof.
And it has to be a fleet, right? The fleets are just not very useful defensively. Probably Albania. Come on.
Man, every unit's so important as Austria. I don't know. Yeah, probably a fleet, but whatever. They
So
lose something.
your recommendation would be don't lose Trieste.
My recommendation for Austria in this position would have been to not lose Trieste.
Yes. It was a good
Yep.
guess on the Italian front, right? The Austrian tried to bounce a supported attack into Albania, which is what the Italian tried to do last turn. They tried to convoy into Albania, right? And bounced all of those Austrian units back. If
Yep.
Italy had tried the same thing this turn, then Austria would have kept a decent position with this bounce. But because Italy outgasses them, goes to Trieste instead, and they managed to get their army back out of the the African desert zone, right? You don't really want your army to stay in Tunis long term. You want to bring it back when there's fighting to be had. And they managed to mobilize it back. So overall, Italy greatly improving, except now you really wish that Venice had been an army and you'd taken this with an army, because you're not going to make much more progress with a fleet there, right?
Yep. Oh, how quick the mighty fall. Austria's position is doomed. The other subtle thing that I want to point out is the way that Turkey took Ankara. Because Turkey took Ankara with this army and moved the fleet back to Khan, leaving Smyrna open for a build, it leads me to think that Turkey is planning on building a fleet in Smyrna and is going to try to resume the Juggernaut rather than trying to build a fleet in Khan and Ankara, move to Armenia, and attack Russia here. So this leads me to think that Austria is going to get attacked pretty soon. By Turkey too. So.
Yeah, I'm actually curious what this Austrian support is. It's support Smyrna to Aegean, which is obviously an invalid move, but I guess Austria is saying, hey, this is what I want you to do on the next turn.
Yeah, I don't really get it, but hey.
I don't like that at all. It's clearly saying, hey, I want some help against Italy, right? But
Yep.
I don't think you do as Austria. I think you want the Turk to help you against Russia, because Russia is the one you need help against.
Yeah, and the one that's better for Turkey to attack. Because if Turkey gets more fleets out in the Med, they're going to take Bulgaria and Greece before they do anything against Italy.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Exactly that. Yep.
Oh, well.
Well, this is a big oof turn for Austria. But a very happy turn for me. I managed to predict Edinburgh gets attacked, and therefore I'm in a much happier state than if they had gone into Liverpool. Also, notably, I do issue Edinburgh support English Channel to North Sea. That's what this failed support is here. I am already saying to France, hey, you can take the North Sea, I don't want it. You can keep pushing forward in your attack against Germany. I'm curious, as France, would you go for this? Would you, push past England in this way? In the way I'm trying to get France to?
No.
I think I agree. As France
I would have convoyed to Wales.
As France here, I would convoy to Wales every single time, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would have convoyed to Wales. Maybe not last turn, because I probably couldn't have helped Belgium. But I am absolutely building a fleet in Brest and convoying into Wales, and you're going to die.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that's, Yep.
That's beside the point.
We'll see where that gets us.
All right.
It's worth trying, right? Because some Francis will say, hey, I'm going to stick to one enemy at a time, and I'm going to finish off Germany before I move on to England.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely how some French plays, and if they want to finish Germany, they want to be in the North Sea. So, I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Shall we go ahead to builds?
Let's see him.
All right.
Oh my god, we need to go faster, dude. Oh, man.
Alright, we will get through it. So, winter 1903. Fleet Smyrna comes down, as you'd expect. Army Bulgaria off? That surprises me a lot. I would.
Yeah, they're all so painful, man. This is fine. I like the fleets, right? You want to contest Adriatic and Ionian? Yeah, alright. I support this.
Yeah, it certainly does mess up Italy's day a fair bit, keeping the fleets on. But
And Italy's the one who stabbed us, right?
That is true.
Get him.
Yep. Take him out. And Germany builds Army Berlin. They already
we got our ally in Germany.
Exactly. They already have control over Sweden, St. Petersburg, basically. They can now put down these armies and just... They can't really go after Warsaw because this French threat is too much. Which actually worries me a little bit because I feel like Germany's best play here is to try and piece the French out and then just both go after me, right? But I'm hoping they prefer going, sticking to what they're already doing.
Yeah, I mean, the scary part is that France doesn't need to piece out Germany, and it can still just attack you.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, and Clyde comes off, which, huzzah! I'm very happy.
Huzzah! Congratulations! We don't have a hostile army. on the mainland. That's great.
Yep. And because of that as well, now I only have 2 enemy units adjacent, right? Norwegian, which is unlikely to do that much against me, and English Channel, which, well, I say enemy, they are probably friend, but I'm treating everyone as
No way.
enemy.
No way. Are they probably a friend?
Well,
Fleet Rest?
they've been friends so far, right?
Yeah. But that is no indication of future friendship.
Yes, I would stick to that motto definitely. I'm going to cover Wales next turn. I'm pretty sure, just to be safe, right? But I'm also like, France might be a friend. I'm gonna try and push them through into North Sea and say, hey, you go first. It's your war. I'm gonna keep here and stay Brexited. Um, shall we go ahead to the spring?
Yep.
Alright. Spring 1904. And you can see here, I think France expected me to push out into North Sea despite the support on the last turn, right? And
Yep.
I just go, no, I'm not. I am going
I
to...
mean, I think it's what we supported about last turn. I think it's very reasonable to continue the plan of supporting them out and say, hey, we're sticking to our deals. Keep going. Keep on pushing. But I think if I'm France and I'm like, if I move into the North Sea, you're just going to stab me. Because no England willingly gives up North Sea forever. So you just want me to overextend. I'm not going to do that. You can take North Sea.
No, you
Shoo.
go first. No, you go first. It's definitely
Yeah.
not a trap. But yeah, it's kind of just an interesting position. I think as France, I would never take this support. But France here, clearly not taking the support yet either. But they also
So
might
not
have...
necessarily killing us.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to Mid-Atlantic Ocean, right? They could have just gone to Irish Sea and English Channel and then screwed me over a bit. It would have been a slow attack, but it would have been an attack. I think the danger to doing that right now for France is that if Germany does end up turning on them, they're going to have quite a strong England-Germany alliance against them, right? But it's France. You can probably win against the England-Germany alliance anyway.
Yeah, it's not a particularly strong English-German alliance, given that Germany is at war with Russia and England is on 3 centers.
Yeah, notably, like, Germany has so much in the north. I would feel like Germany is an extremely dominant force, right, going into Sweden and St. Petersburg here. But also, Russia has actually managed to counter them pretty well, and they've been able to bring up some units that you wouldn't expect to be on the Western Front this early, such as Army Bohemia, Army Silesia, right?
Yeah, and the tap on Munich was brutal.
Yep, it loses Germany by itself, which... Yeah.
Means Munich is likely falling unless Italy can prop Germany up.
I'm a little confused about Berlin to Prussia here. I think that was... it would have... It's almost always better to go to Silesia, right? If you want to crawl up along this coast, you're better off waiting until you have a fleet in Baltic and then just doing it in one go with a convoy. Just Silesia is such a better province than Prussia, and now Russia is in Silesia, which means you have to pull back Prussia anyways. So this...
Yeah, the move to Prussia, I think of it as if I want to take Silesia and I expect them to tap Silesia, but I have superior numbers, and so I want more units to bring to bear, and I expect Silesia to be bounced, then I would move to Prussia. In this instance, I don't have more units to bring to bear, so I just want to move to Silesia. If I get in, great, and if I get bounced, that's fine too. Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. But we're doing great, man. Russia backed out of Norwegian Sea. We only have a France and English Channel, and France might not even be hostile. We might actually be getting somewhere.
Yes.
How wonderful.
Incredible. It is certainly a turn of fortune on our part. Down in the south, it's kind of amusing to see Turkey do kind of a similar thing, in that Russia is trying to push them forwards, right? Austria is going, hey, I really want you to go against Italy here, and Turkey just goes, nope, I'm going to maneuver around and get my position on the Black Sea and on Sevastopol.
Yeah, I mean, Russia stabbed me, so let me mess with Russia.
Yep. It's amusing because, like, they could have been in this position a turn earlier if they had just built, like, not maneuvered in the way they did on the previous turn, right?
Yeah.
And then built the fleet.
But that would have made Russia move differently.
It would. And now they've managed to get a pretty decent position. Like, they are going to be able to push into Black Sea here. They are going to be able to at least tap at Sevastopol. They don't even need to tap at Sevastopol. They could just let this Black Sea fleet go back into it, potentially.
And maybe also take Bulgaria, right?
Yeah.
Hold Armenia, tap Black Sea, and then tap Bulgaria also. Bulgaria, Black Sea, and then hold Armenia, right? We're doing great.
Yeah.
Like I said, Turkey's position much better than yours.
Alrighty. So, anything else you want to talk about here? It feels like the Austria-Italy conflict is at a little bit of a stalemate now, because no one is attacking Austria anymore from the back.
Yeah, Russia backing out against the attack on Austria is pretty rough. But obviously, Fleet Trieste is not particularly effective at crushing Austria. And Austria is going after Ionian, but that's not going to break. I don't expect this to stay stalemated for long, because I think Austria is going to lose Bulgaria this turn, and once Austria disbands something again, with Italy getting Apulia into position, Austria's position is going to crumble. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Although Italy can't defend Trieste right now, right? If they're trying to maneuver that army forward. In fact, even if they aren't trying to maneuver that army forward, they're relying on Russia attacking Austria in order to stop Trieste being retaken.
You need something to get tapped. Ah, notice that.
Because Albania can tap Adriatic, and then these 3 units can go for Trieste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, that's going to be a stalemate then. Alright. Oops.
Alright. Shall we move ahead to the fall?
Yeah, you don't think about Austria being aggressive with all these Russian units around, but Russia's not attacking, so don't worry about it.
I mean, most of the Russian units aren't around anymore. If we go ahead to the fall, we can
Oh,
see,
there's Bohemia and Romania still, but
Yes.
yeah.
And we can see exactly this, right? Austria does take Trieste in exactly that way, and Italy, I think, sensing the possibility of the stalemate, tries to support Austria forward. They're saying, hey, go into Aegean, go into Bulgaria, kill Turkey, we can work together again. And Austria is just like, nope. Although Austria will have the chance to respond to this on the next turn, right? These supports are basically saying, hey, I want you to do this. So it's something, it's a signal for going forward. We'll see whether it's effective or not. And Italy has other things to worry about all of a sudden.
Yeah, and Austria is building?
Austria is building. This is
Nobody went for Bulgaria at all. That's so fun.
And Turkey managed to take out the Black Sea fleet, which is quite good for them as well. They'll be able to pivot this second fleet somewhere south if they really want to, or just against Bulgaria. They don't need it in the north anymore because they've already secured the position there.
So Russia lost Sweden, but gained Munich. So it's otherwise neutral, right? So they can just rebuild a fleet if they so desire. But they probably don't, honestly. They probably just build an army in Sev.
Yeah.
Or Warsaw.
I'd be tempted to put in Warsaw. Maybe you just put it in Moscow as well.
Actually, maybe Moscow to protect Sev, right? Do your classic thing. We're on the defensive right now, so I think it makes some sense.
But yeah, most important thing on the board, we haven't talked about it yet. My Brexit strategy is working. Pushing the shuttle forward.
Strategy. Right. Yeah, English Channel's the North Sea. This is, again, we're in great shape right now. We're probably not going to die. And now we can finally start slowly moving ourselves out by, like, getting in the Norwegian Sea. We got to keep London covered and Eddie covered, but maybe we can do stuff. Well done, CaptainMeme. I'm very proud of you.
Exactly. We are letting the Europeans do their own thing, and we are pushing them away from us.
Great.
And incredibly, like, I would not have predicted Mid-Atlantic Ocean going down to Western Mediterranean. That is, I think a little, like, I think it's a bad move. Moving against Italy like this hard, and moving through into North Sea. I feel like you can get away with doing one or the other, but this leaves you a bit open to an English attack.
Yeah, but this is also the most salt strategy of all time.
It
When I
is.
see the name, it makes so much sense.
Yeah,
I
knowing
was
this is
also
salt.
confused when I saw this. Like, how can I start a fight on another front? And that is the question that Salt asks himself constantly. Um, and this is how he can start a fight on another front. And honestly, he might take Tunis. It's unclear that Italy has the units to defend Tunis. They have to use Naples and Ionian, and I don't know if Italy can get away with that.
I mean, it is. That is probably true. It is a bit slow for France to set that up, right? They kind of have to convoy over to North Africa and then attack, and then they
Yeah,
have the army stuck in that region as well,
yeah,
which
but
is not
it's not
something you
stuck
want.
if it's sitting on Tunis.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's defending.
Yeah, as France, right? Like France having an army in Tunis, it's gonna get convoyed into Rome eventually. Just give it time.
It does feel like Tunis is the extent of what France will manage to get down here, which is. It makes it a tough thing to commit 2 units to, but if you do get that dot and you don't get attacked anywhere in the meantime, it is an extra build, so it's something.
Yeah, I also think the relevant part when France committed to this attack by moving Brest into mid-Atlantic Ocean instead of doing something like English Channel to Irish Sea, then at that point it looked like Austria was going to crumble and was not going to win the fight against Turkey or against Italy, excuse me, well, or Turkey or anyone, but mostly Italy. And so this is a way to both grow by yourself and also do a little bit of balance of power, right? You don't want Italy to get too big and strong because then Italy might turn to hit me. So you can preempt that by taking Tunis off of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. I. I just. Well, I wouldn't do this, obviously.
Yeah, I would have just killed England. Yeah, I
Yes.
agree. I would have just killed England.
I feel like it's still really slow to try and kill England in this situation. Because you're not
From
getting any
here, it
help
would have
from
been
anyone,
worse.
right?
Yeah, but like, I don't know, just get into Irish Sea, we have a convoy into Wales, and then you're dead.
Except I can defend against the convoys of Wales. Like,
But not, and Liverpool, it's a guess every time, and you're going to cover Liverpool, probably.
it depends whether I get the flexibility to move Edinburgh around to cover Liverpool. Like, it's always awkward trying to defend the British Isles with some fleets, but I don't
Yeah.
have any threats coming in from any other angles right now. I feel like I would have held on pretty decently. Like, I think the attack on England is still fine as France here. I think what I would have preferred to just hang back and not do all that much except push this attack on Germany. If I'm moving into North Sea, I feel like Mid-Atlantic Ocean probably should be moving into English Channel just to make sure that nothing is happening here. Um, that's that's my opinion on what France should have done here, right? But
I mean, are you going to stab France here?
I'm pretty happy with the fact they moved through into North Sea.
Yeah,
This
right?
is,
So, like, are you going to take English Channel and attack them? No, right?
I'll stay silent on that.
All right. Well, if you're attacking them, then it's gonna be a big regret on their part. But I just think that England has this position to me, Milix, makes me think that England likes to have three armies because nobody can ever take anything from them. With three armies on the British mainland, it is so you're not gonna crack that. Um,
It is true. I'd be
so
much happier with 3 armies right now. No,
yeah,
I'm fine with the fleets. But yeah, shall we go ahead to the winter here?
sure. Let's see builds. We got to do power rankings.
All right, winter 1904. Am I still last on the old power rankings?
I mean, who would you put ahead? Like, who do you think is in a worse position than you?
Annoyingly, no one.
Yeah, great. I'm
So-
glad we're on the same page
but
about
I'm
that.
in such a better position than I was before. Right?
Yeah, because your position in O2 was the worst British position I've ever seen in O2. Nah, I've seen some sea lions,
Look,
but whatever.
I wish I had like a most improved award to add to this power rankings. It's just
Sure.
like,
But your position isn't even the most improved. It's not like you're actually going to get a center, probably, this year. Maybe you stab for Brest. Maybe you piss off the only ally you have.
oh boy. All right, so I guess I'm staying at the bottom.
Yes.
Turkey is no longer second last, right? I feel like
Nah, I like Turkey.
yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
Turkey
like
is
Italy is second last now.
Yeah, losing Tunis. The war against Austria is going badly. Yep. Rip Italy. You fought well. I
Yeah.
respect the convoy to Albania. That was top tier.
Um. So what else? Like, where else do people go in the order here? This becomes a little
Next,
bit tougher.
I think next is Germany.
It's weird because Germany has so many more centers than Turkey, right? But Turkey is just
Yeah,
in such a nice spot now.
but Turkey is Turkey.
Yep, Turkey is Turkey. They're in the corner. They have this, and they have like the ability to punch outwards at this point and try and expand
I
out.
expect them to take Bulgaria and Romania this year and be nice and safe on 5, and potentially take Sevastopol and grind. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it depends a lot on who they choose, like who
Yeah,
chooses
they
who
can
as
attack
general.
whoever they want. I just think that Romania and Bulgaria are the easy things to capture, and then Sevastopol is going to fall next year. Like, I would take Bulgaria from Khan, I'd convoy myself into Rum, and then I would build, like, Army Ankara fleet, Smyrna or something, and then put 3 on Armenia to then take Sevastopol, and then get Smyrna to, like, Aegean or something to make progress on Greece. Something like that's how I would play this. Um, but it's tough, because you'd have to take Bulgaria with the fleet and pick a coast. Oh.
Yeah, that is
And you
that's a
have to
big
pick the
call.
East Coast to take Romania. Oh, man. You convoy into Bulgaria? Yeah, I convoy into Bulgaria, into Bulgaria instead, and then I support myself into Romania. God.
Yeah, it's a little tough there because you are
Anyway,
attacking
Turkey's
both
position is
points.
great. Point is, Turkey's going +2 this year, probably at least +1, and is going to have their pick of the enemies, and they're safe. So Turkey's on the up. Um,
Does
then I
that
think
does Turkey go like? Are you putting them in fourth then over Germany or?
so certainly over Germany, right? Germany is, I think, third to last. Third to last here,
Yep.
above you and above Italy. I just think that the German position is so tough to navigate here. Like, it's bad, but you're probably losing Holland. Maybe not. North Sea can tap, but, like, I don't know. You're probably losing Holland, which is not a place you want to be. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I don't like having Norway and Sweden in this position when you can't really reinforce it. They're sort of isolated, and I just don't see how you're holding them forever. So no, I don't like Germany's position here. I think it's too weird. But also Russia's position sucks.
Yeah, I was gonna mention this. Like Russia feels like they're like they've got a very strong Austrian neighbor, right? They've got a very strong Turkish neighbor. Now they're in this weird war with Germany where neither of them are winning, and like one of their games, Munich, is basically just a French game that France has handed them temporarily. So
Yeah,
I
maybe
really
Russia is
don't
worse than.
like their spot, which
God,
means
you'd rather be the 3 center Turkey than the 6 center Russia?
I think I would.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would. Yep. Yep. I would. God, Turkey is so dumb, man.
Should clarify there, we're not talking about the Turkish player. This is just the
Yeah, yeah,
country.
the country, man. Every time I look at this country, it just is annoying.
Uh,
Good job, Russia, for taking Ankara off of them in '01 or '02, whatever they did. That was very nicely done. We support you. Shame it didn't
this is
do anything.
why you need to convoy it instead of
Yeah, it's hard to
taking over
convoy,
the
man.
fleet. It is
He
quite
opened
hard.
north, dude. Like, he opened north and still got Ankara. But
Yeah,
yes, no, all right. But then, so are we putting Turkey above Germany also?
I think so.
Yes, right?
Are we going Germany then? Like Russia is below Germany, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, and then so Turkey is in third, which means Austria and France are the top two. Uh, which of those do you put first?
France has weaker enemies and is probably taking Tunis. Austria has a 3 center Italy to contend with and is probably going to have to deal with a big Turkey. But Turkey's probably only got a lot of fleets. They're both in good places. I mean, France is France. Let's give it to France and then let Austria figure it out.
All right, yeah, France bonus. France gets to the top. So France, then Austria, then Turkey, then Germany, then Russia, then Italy, then me.
Yep. All right, let's see
All
it.
right, so spring 1905. once the page loads, we will see what those
Dude,
moves
backstabber, man.
are. There we go. But yeah, so London to English Channel is what I decide to do here. Along with a little bounce in Yorkshire just to make sure that if France does pivot against me, they can't do something like Belgium gets convoyed into Yorkshire.
Oh, and Gascony has to choose between Brest and Marseille. Oh, God. One front too many, Salt. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, that move into Piedmont. Jeez.
Yeah.
Italy just tried to piece out Austria and is gonna lose Venice as a result. Ow. I cover Brest. Hope that Italy tries to save Venice.
That was kind of what I
Venice
was
is lost.
thinking. Like, I was thinking that France is more likely to cover Brest here just to make sure an English convoy doesn't get in than they are to
Yeah, also
cover
gave you the
Marseille.
finger. Like, God.
Yes. So here I think I'm not, like, going for Brest is probably not going to work. But I guess we should talk about what else is going on this board first, right? So I'm basically taking this opportunity to slip into a position where I can do something finally, because it feels like France is woefully underdefended at home, so maybe I can make something happen there. My loyalty does not run very deep in Gunboat. But France is doing really well elsewhere, right? They get Holland, they get
Gaining
Kiel.
Holland and Kiel.
Yep.
Yeah, have two on Tunis. Probably not taking Tunis, but still has two there.
And their enemy in Germany is actually doing really badly. Like, Sweden went out to Bothnia for some reason. I'm not
Going
sure.
for St. Pete. Right, that's also a Prussia to Livonia.
With the unit in Skagerrak, though, it feels like a.
Oh, that look.
painful
I'm not
thing
saying
to
if it was right or not, but that's what it was doing.
Yeah.
It was absolutely trying to take St. Pete.
But you already have this unit coming up to Livonia from Prussia, so as long as you keep Norway, you've got the attack on St. Petersburg anyway.
But there's an army in Moscow, right? So you need Livonia to tap Moscow to then take St. Pete?
I don't know. Yeah. I guess I can see the logic. I think it's a really bad move, just because, like, St. Petersburg isn't as valuable as the whole of Scandinavia, which is...
Well, you haven't given up on Scandinavia. I mean, by the retreat into Berlin instead of Denmark, you kind of have, but Sweden hasn't even lost. I think there's an argument, like, I like playing Germany and Gunboat as just killing Russia, and then you have the corner, but it's obviously different here. But I think trying to secure that position and then recontesting Scandinavia like you're Russia would be kind of funny. I like it.
I guess fair enough. I don't think I would have played it this way.
Yeah, it's fine.
If anything, I kind of just want to try and blow up that Skagerrak unit if I'm in this position.
As Germany?
Yeah. Is that even good?
Yeah, I mean, then it retreats to North Sea, and then you've wasted your time.
Well, yeah, I would have assumed that North Sea would not be open, because, like, when is North Sea ever open? This is,
When England hasn't taken North Sea the entire game, and when taking Holland from North Sea is the only move to do it, because Norway can tap North Sea. So...
Yeah,
I think this was a really brutal tactical position from Germany. Like, you have tough options everywhere, and you have a bunch of guesswork to do. So I have no idea what I would have ended on, and I would have probably guessed really badly.
As France, I'd certainly have been tempted to just take Holland in a bit of a safer way, with, like, Ruhr and Belgium both working against that. But then I wouldn't have advanced as fast, right? Because Ruhr gets into Kiel this turn because of this.
Yeah, plus Ruhr was just tapping Kiel, right? I think that I would expect Kiel to support Holland, right? So
yeah, I suppose that does make sense. And then they have to move North Sea in because otherwise Norway taps them potentially,
or London taps or something.
Yeah, okay. You expect...
Or Eddie taps.
Of course, yeah. You kind of expect the British player to be, like, going into North Sea behind you now, because that's the only way they kind of advance.
Unless they're attacking me,
Unless they're attacking you, which is kind of what I chose to do. uh, so
I
yeah.
didn't. Anyways, great.
uh,
All right, cool.
right. So what's going on in the south? We've got, as you mentioned, like Austria manages to outmaneuver Italy pretty hard. Italy has
I
pivoted
don't think this
fully.
is a thing of Italy getting outmaneuvered. I think this is a choice that Italy made.
Yes.
I don't think Austria did anything particularly crazy or unusual here. I think Italy said, no, France is trying to take Tunis from me, and I haven't attacked France in forever. If maybe literally, no, I mean, a little bit. But like, France is trying to take Tunis from me. I am not going to accept that. I'm going to try to stop France from getting anything because France shouldn't do this. And gives up the position against Austria. And Austria is just now going to take Venice as a result of Italy making this decision. But I don't think there's like any level of I don't know. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. The and the Turks making progress into Sevastopol at the same time. Austria making progress against Romania, also against Russia.
Yep.
It's looking a lot better for Austria. I mean, they were already pretty high up on the tier list.
Yeah, we had them at second, right?
Yeah, they
But
might.
that said, France also is +2 in the spring and is probably taking right, and we'll see where things go. So
Yep.
this annoyance, well, yeah, Austria maybe is higher than France right now if we were to do power rankings right now, but we're not. So look, it's looking good for both of them. All right, they're clearly gonna the two baddies on the board right now. So
Yeah,
that's
and
great.
it's honestly really weird for me to see a situation like this with France, where they are like doing really well. At the same time, their core is so unprotected that they're going to have to choose one of their home centers to defend on this turn.
The salt special, man.
It,
It's
it,
so
it
good.
is so Salt, right? Like Salt, it kind of combines what happened in the Imperial and Hellenic games in that I'm now Salt's ally, right? And he put full trust into me and just went for everyone else.
Yeah,
And I'm
be
gonna
salt's
do
ally. It's the best.
and I'm gonna
Again, it's
do the
easier when you know
same
that it's
thing
salt.
that I did in Imperial diplomacy and just stab him in the back because he's over.
But you stabbed him for a dot, and you're not even gonna get the dot because he's gonna cover breast.
Well, okay, so I do actually decide on doing something that I think is a little more smart here because I look at the
Yeah,
position and I go, okay, so there's a decent chance he covers breast, right? I think there's a
yeah.
more than decent chance. I think that's
I think
most
it's
likely
yeah,
where it goes.
yeah.
If I bounce that, then he will get a fleet build there, and I will be unhappy. Uh, I have two other convoy options. I have Picardy, which I think a smart player covers Picardy as well, because that feels like where England would likely go. Just it's all the wine in front of me type stuff, right? It's you England might go for the thing that seems like the least effective move, but would actually be the most effective because it's the least likely to get covered. It's a whole lot of back and forth, but because of all of this, I think, hey, actually, I think I'm gonna convoy into Belgium, and if I get into Belgium, there is some possibility that Salt just goes, oh, he's in Belgium, maybe we can keep working together, right? Because Belgium is a reasonable centre for England to have when they're working
Well,
with
that's
France.
usually
It's
when Germany's in Holland,
yeah, but
France is in Holland.
in this position, I feel like me convoying to Belgium is the friendliest move I can make to France, right?
Yes, I
Apart
agree with that.
from apart from like
Yes, I agree with that.
abandoning the front entirely and just going into North Sea, but I'm not going to do that because I want the dot.
Totally agree. Of the centers to take, Belgium is the friendliest. I agree. And Picardy borders two home centers. Very aggressive. So yeah, I like the convoy to Belgium. I think that's I like your argument. I think there's a reasonable chance that Belgium covers Picardy. Right. When I looked at the board, I said I'm convoying to Picardy, and I didn't think more about it. And therefore, as France, if I think a little bit about it, I'm covering Picardy. So,
Yes.
why fun? You got to next level him, dude. I
Shall
like it.
we go ahead to the fall then?
Yeah.
All right, and
Oh, you're a god.
it did.
Oh, you got to build. You got to
I
build.
got a build after 5 years of no builds. I have successfully achieved a build, and I have unbrexited.
I think this is the part where I don't know what happens anymore.
Yeah, it's such a weird position, right? Because France is so like they're so far ahead. They have so much stuff. I just have this random army in the middle of their land and this fleet in the English Channel that can potentially attack them, but then, like, France's units can quite easily collapse on whatever I go for. But then also Russia has just been pushed out of Munich and retreated into Burgundy, so this is insanity. And Western Med went to Tyrrhenian as well. Like, France wasn't even bothered about me being in English Channel. They're like, nope, I'm gonna keep going forward. I do not care. It's kind of hilarious. And also, I think this might have been where I sent you a message and said, hey, look at this game, I have no idea what to do anymore, right? But
Is
yeah,
it this turn?
it might have been a little bit
was-
further forward, actually.
I thought it was after. I thought it was before this. Whatever. Anyways, it's fine. I think when you sent me the thing, I looked at the previous turns to give me a sense of what on earth was going on, which I remember those turns very much. And I think we reached the point where I was like, dude, I don't know. What the hell are you supposed to do? Whatever. Man.
Yep. So, like, this position is so weird all around as well, because Russia has Norway and Sweden now, right? Germany has St. Petersburg, Denmark, and Berlin, and Munich.
Yeah.
That is...
I build a.
such an odd
God, it's
position.
tough. Seeing how this game is played out, I'm building a fleet in Eddie.
Just to go after Scandinavia, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember.
I think
what
that
built
that's.
here.
I think that that's where the juice is. That's where we're squeezing.
I
God.
like. I guess I kind of see it. I would be tempted as France here to like. France is gonna build Fleet Brest, right?
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
I guess the second build is going to be Army Paris. Do I have to care about that?
Oh,
for
did they have
fleet?
to? Something like at one.
They get Holland, Kiel. Oh, they lost Berlin. Okay, not Berlin, Belgium. So they do only build one. So I guess, yeah, that would just be Fleet Brest. Do I have to care about Fleet Brest? I probably don't, because I have Fleet English Channel already pinning it in.
Yep. So Fleet Eddie is just useful, right? There's look at all the chaos with Germany and Russia fighting over Scandinavia. We can just slip an extra fleet in here.
Yes.
Germany's going to be fighting back for Kiel. Something that I realized here. Right? So, since that's going to happen, I can probably get into Norway.
Yeah, I can't remember what I built here at all. I feel like it might have been Fleet London just so that it could go in either direction. But yeah.
Oh, remember how you like committing to things in the build phase, CaptainMeme?
This is like London is a very non-committal place to be, but it's also kind of annoying everyone, so it's not...
Oh, exactly. I think it's great. No, I think Fleet London is a very reasonable build.
Yeah. No, I think that's what I did. I kind of want to go forward to the winter so that I can see what I did. Is there anything else you want to look at on this board state?
I think let's just look at builds.
Alright.
Oh, we didn't talk about the East at all, but don't worry about the East. It's fine. Turkey's doing it. Turkey's
Everything's going fine. Austria and Turkey still being pretty rampant. I think Turkey was poking at Austria on that turn, so there is some stuff going. I went on the Fleet Liverpool. Why did I go Fleet Liverpool?
She wanted to commit and builds.
No. God, I think looking at it now, I think Fleet London is just superior to this. Because if you want to move against France, yeah, you get trapped in, I guess. You like, Brest would bounce you out of anything. So this way you can get more success, like more... Is it even a better move for... No, I think it's just bad. Because if you're in London, you can rotate English Channel to Irish Sea and London into English Channel if you really want to attack France anyway. I guess this leaves open the possibility of going Liverpool to North Atlantic, English to Irish Sea, and North Sea to English Channel, but that's also really bad.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, because you need North Sea to mess around with Belgium and Holland here.
Yeah. I don't like this, but I guess I was probably sending people a message saying, hey, you know,
I'm attacking France. Yeah. I'm almost certain that's what you were thinking at the time. Was, hey, I'm attacking France, and if I'm attacking Francis, England, Fleet Liverpool is pretty good. It's the closest unit to Portugal, right?
Yes.
And technically, right, Liverpool to Irish Sea is better than English Channel to Irish Sea, and then London to English Channel, because if you get bounced out of English Channel, then you can keep it. Plus, English Channel can like support hold Belgium, whilst North like you have more units, so that way you don't need to move English Channel to Irish Sea.
Mhm.
So there is that.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
probably going to
it's
be
like
something like English Channel to Mid-Atlantic, North Sea to English Channel, and Liverpool to Irish, and then like something is likely to get bounced on the English Channel North Sea front, but at least I get some movement going.
yeah.
I think that's not worth showing your hand in this turn, but I should go and tell my past self that, I guess. That's uh,
Yep.
yep. Right. So, is there anything else you want to talk about on these builds? I guess Germany's disbands are kind of interesting. Barons and St.
Yeah.
Petersburg. But,
I
like,
mean, you have to disband too. What else are you disbanding?
that
Like,
kind of feels like the only option. Yeah, I might have kept St. Petersburg on and Fleet Bothnia off, but yeah, I think Bothnia is still.
getting back into Baltic Sea is really nice. Baltic, Bothnia, and Denmark coordinating in Sweden immediately. I think this fleet's reasonable.
You can try and like turtle up. I I was originally gonna call this game like title the YouTube video Operation Turtle or something, but now I'm kind of thinking Brexit strategy is the way to go.
Yeah,
Anyway,
maybe.
but yeah, I agree that Germany, they kind of want to get and claw back their home centres, and getting back into Baltic is a really nice way to do that. Especially with England building Fleet Liverpool. Although, actually, I think Germany would have preferred me to build Fleet Edinburgh here and go after Russia.
Yeah, try to take Norway and Sweden. I think that would have been better for Germany.
Mhm.
But he's fine with this either way, so that's fine.
You know. All right. Shall we go to the spring?
Yeah, let's watch Austria try to survive.
Or well, Austria just goes full force in against Italy still, and they're being helped out a lot by France just continuing to press into Italy despite the problems at home. That's quite amusing. But yeah, so Turkey makes easy progress into Romania, right? And they're making progress around Bulgaria at the same time. Actually, Austria is moving a bit defensively here. They're going into Serbia, they're going into Bulgaria, not Bulgaria, Budapest, and Greece, just setting up a general defensive line. But it is a little bit further back, and it's like letting Turkey into their naturals on that front. Yeah. I guess Austria is also going, hey, Russia, please take Sevastopol off the tug, but Russia is much more interested in the area where they actually have control, and just
Yeah,
grabbing
trying to
St.
get a
Petersburg.
nice solidified lineup in St. Pete. Fight for Scandinavia. I like it.
Yep. I was also completely wrong about my moves. I just attack Holland and then go into Irish Sea, so that... I mean, that works, I suppose, but Holland is now in a bit of a bad situation.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think if I
probably not
could,
keeping Holland.
if I could rewind the clock, I would not have done anything like. Well, I wouldn't have built Fleet Liverpool for a first part, but I think pushing into Holland doesn't really work that well.
I think it's reasonable, right? Because Germany might support hold you in Holland.
It is, it's possible, but also like having this French fleet now in Heligoland is still annoying. And
But it's
gonna be
annoying to
three.
Germany also.
I guess I here I should really like try and take out Belgium. Although
What do you mean? Just hold.
just as in hold in Holland and not do anything with North Sea.
Support hold it with the North Sea. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Right. Your progress is going to be by getting into Mid Atlantic Ocean.
I think I do. I even do that? I'm trying to like. I remember.
What
I
else do
think
you
I
do?
remember talking about this phase with you. this upcoming phase.
Okay.
I might be mistaken, but I try and do something super wacky that doesn't work out very well.
Okay, sure. Oh, you convoy swap? You convoy swap. That's what you do, Captain Meme.
Well, we didn't have enough memes in this game so far, so let's do a couple more, right?
Yeah, alright, yeah. The convoy swap, of course you convoy swap. What else? Great.
Let's talk about that when we get to that phase. Do you want to talk about anything else going on this turn?
I just appreciate France walking into 2 centers while this homeland burns.
Yes.
That's like, hey, I would rather have 2 centers than let Italy have those 2 centers.
This is true. I mean, it's absolutely incredible and also, I think, a little insane. Just like, you are gonna get knocked out of Naples, definitely. Well,
Not necessarily,
I guess Austria might just tap both for you, right?
right?
So maybe it's fine, but Italy here is just going to try and kill you. Like, there's no way they hold back Austria any longer.
But Austria's trying to kill them also, right? It's like, they can't. What's Italy gonna do?
But Austria had a justified reason for doing so.
Okay, but I have a justified reason too. Dots. Sorry, France, has justified reason. Dots.
I feel like that excuse is not going to be taken as well.
I think it is. Honest to God, whenever you justify a thing by just saying like, "Hey, dude, nothing personal, just want some dots," everyone understands.
Of course, that's why being dotted has never upset anyone. Ever.
Well, dotting somebody for 1 dot is different for dotting them from 2. Really.
Yeah.
People are far more acceptable when you take 2 centers from them than just 1. Like,
You know,
been there.
the weirdest thing about that is I don't think you're wrong, but like, it sounds so...
It sounds so crazy, but it's totally the truth, right? Because you're like, yeah, 2 centers, right? That's so much. It's really hard to turn that down. I totally get it. Whereas when you take just 1 center from me, it's like, dude, I was gonna give you that center anyways. Yeah, all right, great. But I think here, I love it. I'm really happy. I want to see, this chaos continue. This is wonderful.
All right, shall we move on to Fall 06 then? Okay, so moving on to Fall 1906. I get quite lucky here. So...
What?
Alright, so let's talk about the convoy swap attempt first, right? In diplomacy, you may not be aware of this because this is definitely a lesser known thing, but 2 units can't swap places unless one of them goes via convoy. If one of them goes via convoy, then it's fine, they can swap places. My assumption here was that, hey, maybe Belgium is going to go into Holland with some support. If I convoy swap Holland over the top of that, right, then both units go through, France ends up in Holland, I end up in Belgium with an army closer to their homeland, and they're pushed forward onto this front line with Germany. Hopefully they can get crushed between the 2 of us while I'm dealing with their homeland, right? That was my assumption on the convoy. Now, you may look at these other moves and go, what the hell are you doing, right? Ezio, are you looking at these other moves and going, what the hell are you doing?
I do think you should have supported yourself in the Mid-Atlantic Ocean.
I do get very lucky that he didn't do that. My bet here was basically, hey, look at the south. France is going to get a build, 100%, right? And if, as France, I assume that England is always going to be supporting Irish Sea into Mid-Atlantic Ocean, what do I do here? Going to Mid-Atlantic Ocean doesn't help me. Going to English Channel doesn't help me. Like, both of them don't do anything at all. So really what I need to do is just move out of Brest to get another fleet build on the board, right? So that I can have more possibility to attack England. Like, moving Brest to Picardy, I think, might be a bit questionable. Maybe Brest to Gascony is still not a place you like having a fleet, but getting 2 fleets on the board in your homeland is pretty important. So I was betting on the fact that France would try and get a fleet build here. Basically go, hey, England is definitely going to do the obvious move set, going to support themselves into Mid-Atlantic Ocean. I will move out of Brest, get a fleet build, and then counter that. Unfortunately, they didn't, but also they didn't move to Mid-Atlantic Ocean, so no harm done, right? If they had tried to move out of Brest to build a fleet here, they would have been very screwed over by my moveset, because they would have lost Brest at the same time as losing Mid-Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. What a coup.
Yeah, think about how cool this phase could have looked in the game, like in the retrospective video, if if France had done the stuff that I was trying to counter.
Dude, if I could change my opponent's moves after the phase, I would do some really cool stuff too.
Yeah, just if I'd have managed to get a convoy swap off and take Brest at the same time, would have been just beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Oh god, that phase, it would have been so perfect. So here's an interesting thing. Because you moved Holland, Holland wasn't getting support held by Kiel.
Mm-hmm.
So if France had supported Ruhr into Holland, they would have taken Holland. Instead, France supported Kiel into Holland. And this looks like a misorder, where you think, oh, that's just a mistake. He meant to support Ruhr into Holland, but he didn't. But then he supported Kiel into Holland with Marseille and Tunis. Again, invalid orders, but that's how this game works. And it clearly tells us that that's not a misorder. That's what he intended to do.
Yep.
So France is trying to peace out Germany.
Yep. And
Uh-oh.
so that could be really bad for me if France and Germany get on the same page together. But I'm still of the opinion I think it's better for Germany to work with me, especially if I can get... Well, okay, it might be better for Germany to take Holland because it's directly their next stop, right? But I can help them in Scandinavia if I need to. We can work against a much stronger France, right? We can take out their bigger opposition right now. So I'm certainly a bit nervous about the possibility of France and Germany getting along again, but I don't know that Germany will go for it. You will note that both Germany and Russia are trying to get me to intervene on their behalf in the north. Germany is doing something that only works if I cut Norway. So they clearly want me to cut Norway with this unit. And Russia wants me to go for Denmark and help them out. And I am doing neither right now. There's only so long you can get away with doing something like that and not interacting with a place where both people...
Well, the answer is forever. Because they can't stop it. Neither one of them are in position to do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't support them, they're locked in this fight forever.
Until they choose to peace out. That is the...
But they can't. That fleet in Bothnia and fleet like this position is not one that you can just peace out. We're not playing EU4 when you can make a peace treaty and then once you're at peace, your armies stop fighting.
I think they can. And Russia is signaling exactly how to do it, right? They are saying, hey, Bothnia goes back to Baltic here. And if they do that, because Russia's only got the one northern fleet, I think Germany isn't actually under that much threat from Russia if they start working.
But Germany's going to still try to take Sweden.
Germany can then move out of Baltic and try and push it towards Heligoland. Although, weirdly, that French fleet being in Heligoland is probably the biggest obstacle to Russia and Germany working together. Because Russia and Germany can't get all the units on North Sea, right? This unit is kind of going to be stuck here.
I mean, I think that... I don't think that Germany and Russia are in any danger of making peace.
Mm-hmm. I think you're probably right, but I think there is some potential for them to do it.
Have you ever tried to just sit on the middle forever?
What do you mean by that? As in...
Like, be in North Sea with both sides saying, hey, tap Norway, hey, tap Denmark.
Oh, and then...
Right? Have you ever tried? and just never ever do anything?
I did. If you, this is an opportunity to plug more Diplostrats content. There's one called the most ridiculous game ever or something, right? Which was where there was France and Germany were attacking this Belgium line, and they were both asking for my help, and I just sat back and didn't do anything, right? Because I didn't want either of them to work. Sorry,
Didn't you top that game?
Yes, after some weird. But yes, it worked out okay. Mainly because neither of them could ever build a fleet.
Exactly, right? It takes other things to break it. You don't have to be the one who breaks it, and they have to keep doing the same thing. I seem to recall that game, Turkey got huge and then left at the end, and so
Yeah.
spoilers for those who haven't watched the video. Sorry about that. But point is, it works great. You don't have to actually break it ever. It's crazy to me that France would support Kiel into Holland, but I guess to make peace, it's fine. And yeah, that's an uh-oh for you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Shall we...
Austria's doing really well.
Oh, yeah, we should look at the east side of the map.
Austria got into Apulia, has an army in Venice to backfill. Italy is going to be down to 2, so Italy is about to be cracked. And Turkey's not looking great, right? Turkey didn't cover Sevastopol and tried to support hold Romania despite the 3 units on it. So that's rough. So Turkey's not actually building. So Austria is just the dominant force in the east, and there's not going to be any Italy keeping Austria in check much longer. And then Russia's really weak because of all of the tension in the north. Although Russia is, I think, building 2, right? Yeah, Russia's building 2.
They've recovered.
So Russia's not going to be that weak.
Decently. But they're not that strong either, right? They don't have the fleets to be a huge power in the north.
Yeah, but having a lot of armies is good for fighting Austria, so...
Yep.
Yeah, Russia's not going to be super exposed, but a 2-fleet Austria with an Italy that's dead, being ready to start moving against Turkey, this is really good position for Austria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and France gets knocked out of Naples thanks to Austria not tapping Rome, which I think was the correct play on their part.
And because France lost Kiel and Holland gaining Belgium and Tunis means they're neutral. So no builds from France.
Did they actually end up neutral? I thought they would gain... No, I think you're correct. They are neutral. Yeah, +2, -2. So I mean, in that case, my logic about the Brest fleet build wouldn't have worked out anyway. So maybe I should have just supported into Mid-Atlantic Ocean. But I think there was some potential here that they did gain a build, especially given they could have if they had supported this unit into Holland.
Yeah, I mean, because you moved Holland. If you were like most people and it just held Holland, then Kiel's support holding Holland neutralizes the attack.
This is true. Alright, shall we move ahead to winter?
I think.
Yeah. We are on a power rankings turn. Am I in last? I think I'm not in last anymore.
Yeah, Italy is in last.
Hell yeah. See, I'm glad. I really wanted to do this game primarily to hear the exasperation in Ezio's voice, even though he already knows how some of it goes. I was just looking forward to this.
I don't think I remember. Whatever, I've been shown this game. You showed me this game before the Chaos game, right?
Yeah, it was ages ago. This game has been going on for a while, or had been. It finished.
Spoilers for the end date. It's a long one, guys.
It is gonna be quite a long one. Although I think the runtime will end up being pretty equivalent to a normal video, just because we'll be able to rush through some of the years towards the end. But yeah, so am I second to last? This is the question. I think I'm not even, right?
Who do you think is worse?
Germany? Is that correct?
No. France is trying to peace out Germany. And kill you. You're not doing better than Germany.
Oh, am I really second to last after all this? Like, come on. That can't be right. I think I am.
Think you're doing better than Turkey?
Am I? I don't think that's true, because the Austrian units are going to have to that these fleets can't swing in against Turkey, right? If they do that, they leave. Are they leaving themselves open? Like, Italy might actually be an Austrian vassal at this point because of what France did. In which case, yeah, Turkey is in a bad spot. But I don't think the Austrian fleets can swing in against Turkey. I think they're gonna try and do stuff on the Italian front still, which gives Turkey some time, and they need some time to get this Ukraine unit somewhere useful. But they're not like going to die. It's tough actually, because these Russian armies, you kind of have to cover Armenia now. I really hate the fact that they retreated to Ukraine. It feels
Instead of off the board? Yeah.
Yeah.
Off the board would have been way better, I agree.
I guess if Russia comes to Armenia, you can just collapse into Ankara and Smyrna and defend yourself that way. So you don't.
Yeah,
need to
that's no. That's we don't go back in the shell. Your willingness to just cover everything.
Alright, so do you put Turkey below me or not? This is the question.
Yeah, I do. I think you're doing better than Turkey.
Okay. I'm not second last. Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah, fine. You're better than Turkey. Good. I hope you're happy. You're so proud.
I'm really getting that most improved.
You're just convoying yourself into Portugal?
We can talk about that afterwards.
I want to see you convoy yourself into Portugal.
Okay, so actually that is something that it's reasonable to talk about now, because we're on the build phase.
Power
That's what
rankings.
it's been.
Sorry,
We are still doing power rankings.
Are we done with power rankings?
No,
we have it?
We still need to finish the top four, right? You put
Yeah.
Italy worse, then Turkey, then me. Then who is next?
Alright. Then it's Germany.
Yeah. That is true. Germany is, like, they're not in the worst position, as, well, being halfway up the power rankings board shows, but they're also not that great in terms of expansion. They're kind of stalemated against Russia.
If Russia can like slip into Silesia, Germany's position starts to crumble really quickly.
Yes.
If I think France will try to kill Germany if the opportunity is there, but France's priority right now is
Eliminating you, but that's not for forever. And with your fleets in North Sea, English Channel, Mid-Atlantic Ocean, and France's fleets being in Helgoland, Bight, and Brest, France really can't do anything against you.
Yep.
So
yeah, your position's looking great right now, and not fight against France.
Okay, so who comes above Germany then? Who is next on the list?
France.
Alright. And then Austria and Russia take the top two spots? Is that Russia
Yeah,
in second?
Austria's in first, Russia's in
Yeah.
second, yeah.
I agree with that.
Right, Austria's taking Naples, probably taking Rome. Not losing anything to Turkey anymore. Might maybe even getting Bulgaria if Turkey gets greedy for something. Russia and Turkey can't coordinate against Austria. Austria went down one, which is crazy to me. I didn't notice it, but I guess it's true.
It's probably
and-
Bulgaria?
Yeah, I think they lost Bulgaria, and even getting back Romania, they didn't actually get anything off of Italy last year, but they're going to get something this year. So,
Yep.
yeah. Anyways, all right. Yeah, so I want to convoy into Portugal.
Yeah, do you want to explain the reasoning behind that?
Well, Holland isn't going to do very much. I'm worried about France and Germany actually coordinating. And if I get an army into Portugal, then I can take Spain, probably. And I can go on Iberia and start making progress over there.
Yep. I mean, this was exactly my thought process as well. Portugal is only going to be, like, accessible for this one turn, because Piedmont came off. Marseille is definitely going to Spain. I can potentially bounce Marseille out of Spain and then take Portugal on the next turn, but, like, that's a potential strategy, but it doesn't help me all that much. It just gives France a chance to maybe pull Tyrrhenian Sea back to west and then take Mid-Atlantic Ocean while I'm doing that, right? So my thinking here is also there's this fleet in Brest and there's this fleet in Heligoland that are both French, right? And I kind of want to keep them both pinned in. Plus, if they're just poking out at me, and I try and do a chain move, like Mid-Atlantic Ocean to Portugal, English Channel to Mid-Atlantic Ocean, something like that, something of mine is going to be bounced, or they're going to slip out. So I can't really move any of these fleets out of the way, which then results in me thinking, hey, what's the best move here? Also, I would like to get my army off the German line so that the German has somewhere to go. Holland to Portugal feels like the best move. And it's really very rare for a 3-fleet convoy to be your best move, I think. It involves so many units doing just one thing. But I think here it actually is. So that is what I go for. If we move into spring 1906, you will see the 3-fleet convoy. Yep. And also some moves that make me a little bit nervous. Elsewhere. So, if you look at the position here as well, Germany is trying to support me into Norway still. Russia is trying to peace out Germany by supporting them down into Baltic. And you can see that Germany is taking that support and is about to peace them out, potentially. So here
There's an army in Silesia. That's not peace.
Yeah, that is true, although you can see that St. Petersburg issues the support of Warsaw into Galicia, which I think is really interesting. It's basically a move saying, hey, hey Germany, this is what I'm intending to do on the next turn. I just want to go to Silesia so that I can take them out of Galicia, right? And whether Germany
just let me walk into Silesia. That's fine.
Whether Germany is going to accept that or not is an interesting question. But I'm certainly nervous here because France is pushing Germany to align with them and go against me. Russia is pushing Germany to peace them out. I really want Germany to be on my side. So, yeah, that's going to influence some decisions on the next turn that I think may not have been in my best interest. What's your
Nobody
opinion
takes
on what's
Holland.
going on here? That nobody does this turn, but it is spring, notably, so...
Yeah, but nobody tried to take Holland, right? France didn't go after it. In fact, I believe France is supporting Germany into it still?
Yep, with 3 units. Tunis, Belgium, and Holland.
Yeah, Tunis doesn't count. But Belgium and Holland are both... Or Belgium and Helgoland, right? Are both real units that could actually have done it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, yeah. So France is signaling really hard, hey, Germany, please take this and work with me. Interestingly, France can now go for it themselves. Not necessarily guaranteed, but they'd have a decent chance of taking it. So the question is, do they just decide to take the dot themselves now that I'm out of it, right? Or are they still going to double down on trying to get this German alliance? Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm in Portugal and Mid-Atlantic Ocean. Although I don't have a free attack on Spain because of this French fleet in Western Med. It can prop it up. The tactics
France pulling back was really good. Getting out of Tyrrhenian Sea back into Western Med.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, yeah. This is where it ends up on this turn.
CaptainMeme, I think we might suck. I think you're supposed to take Brest.
Do you think? Like, with convoy or with the supported attack in?
Take from Mid-Atlantic Ocean.
Mm-hmm. See, that feels so bad because it feels like there isn't a good way to push further forward from that. Whereas if you're going to
also
Iberia...
take Belgium. Right, Belgium's next.
Yeah, but then it feels like you're making it clear to Germany that I'm going after you next, right? Because if you're putting fleets in these provinces, then there's not really much chance of continuing the attack against France.
Well, we build armies, we convoy into Picardy, right? And then we get another army, and then, like...
Do you really think you can pull that off with this many French units around?
Well, if we take Brest, France is down 1. Or +1. You've got North Sea, English Channel, Holland. Like, yeah, we could probably convoy to Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think our position works from here.
Yeah.
Right? I think the reason why I'm saying this is because at the time I looked at it for a second, and if France, like, if France couldn't pull back the Mediterranean Sea for whatever reason, if like that was impossible, then I would like this much more. But I'm looking at this position, and we're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
We don't win from here anymore. Strategically, we're cooked.
Yeah. We will see that coming into play a little bit on the next few turns.
Right? It's like maybe we just still take Brest, right? We take Brest from Mid-Atlantic Ocean. We just have an army in Portugal that's just ha ha, and then we can like in the fall here we go for Belgium. Right, we go for Belgium, and
The problem
no, we
is
can't go for Belgium. We should call that out.
here we can't actually guarantee Brest either, because of Western Med. They can do a counter.
We can't guarantee anything. To be clear, when we initially convoyed into Portugal, we were saying we're taking Spain, right? That was our plan, right? We take Portugal and we take Spain, but I think we need to change plans, and I think we need to take Brest instead.
Mm-hmm. Well, shall we go ahead to the fall?
Our position sucks. All right, fine, yeah, whatever. Oh, I'm so sad. All right.
Alright, fall 1907. I do actually successfully manage to take Spain.
Oh my god, we could have just taken Belgium.
Yes, which is sad. Okay, so this up here is the decision I was talking about, being influenced by what's going on with the German. The move of North Sea to Norway. I wanted to show willing to Germany of, hey, you are really wanting me to help you against Russia. I know France is throwing you a bone right now and saying, hey, work with me, right? But I will help you up here. I'm not just going to sit back and not do anything, because I'm pretty sure if I do that, your best play becomes just attacking me. I am going to help you out. So I order this move into Norway, and as it turns out, if I'd gone to either Holland or Belgium, I would have retained a centre here and actually gone up 2, I think, right?
Yeah, and if you'd done both, you would have been +3.
Yep. English Channel
I
to
don't
Belgium,
think
North Sea
there's
to
any
Holland.
reason to expect that.
Yeah. So, as a result here, unfortunately, I lose Holland and I don't take Belgium, and I cut a unit that Germany isn't making that attack anyway, so it was completely useless. But at least the French fleet is not in North Sea. That's something, I suppose. If I'd have gone to Belgium with North Sea, they would have been there. But then I would have had enough builds to repel them, so it's like... But yeah, I feel like the reasoning is sound. I feel like you have to show Germany some willingness to work with them here, right?
No, but that's fine. I don't agree at all. In Gunboat especially, it's just so easy to like, hey, I'm in a war with France here, right? Like, just support yourself into Belgium or something, or whatever. But like, just there were things. I don't think this was necessary. As I was talking about earlier, I think you can just sit in between them and just laugh at them, right? Like, Germany's not exactly making peace with them, right? They backed out of Bothnia, sure, but they're still next to Sweden. They're still going to attack Sweden. Germany's not really going to attack you. They have a bunch of armies. Like,
do you really
I don't know.
not?
I don't think this tap was necessary.
Like, I really think Germany pivots if I don't show any willingness to help them.
I think you're showing willingness to help them by attacking France.
Maybe. Like, what if Germany just puts down Fleet Kiel here and then goes and forces Heligoland and then goes into North Sea?
I think that Russia taps Denmark at some point. I don't think Russia wants to see that happen. You think Russia would like to see Germany in North Sea, Denmark, and Baltic?
No, probably not.
So then Russia's going to work with you, and then Germany's not going to get anywhere.
You remember early on, Russia did just leave Sweden and Norway completely open to go and attack me, right?
Yeah, but that was ages ago.
Admittedly, some trust was breached when Germany then went in and took them.
And then tried to take St. Petersburg and had an army in Barents. Like, they've been fighting for years now. Nobody remembers the opening anymore.
Yeah, I think there's some chance Russia just doesn't attack.
I think there's some chance, but I think
like Russia's in Bohemia. I don't know. I whatever. It's the thing that you did, and I don't think it was reasonable to expect Belgium to walk out like this. I don't think tapping Belgium makes a lot of sense, and I think tapping Holland is a pretty low percentage chance. Like I would have expected France to just take Holland, so I think that tap of Holland was pretty unlikely to get you a center. It happened to get you a center here. So I don't think it's terrible. And so maybe you're saying, hey, it's a really low cost to just tap Norway and show Germany that I'm a friend, because I don't expect my unit to have much else productive to do. And I think that's a fair argument.
Yep.
Obviously, it's sad that it had something productive to do instead, but I don't think you needed to make this move. And I think it's just, hey, it's relatively unlikely for it to have a beneficial move elsewhere, so might as well just do it.
Yeah. Well, I end up in Spain anyway, so that's a plus. I do get +2 over here, but then -1 on Holland, so 1 build overall.
Hey, we're building. That's great. We're up to 5. After our start, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Right? If you could have told us after 02, hey, we'll be on 5 after... we'll be on 5 centers in 1907. I'll take that every day of the week.
Yes. The problem is those 2 centers are a bit indefensible and are completely surrounded by French units now. So
Yes.
it's gonna be pretty difficult to hang on to them unless Germany
There's, like, a lot
full force
here.
attacks France. Sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, so elsewhere on the board, Austria is doing really well. They managed to get... Oh, no, they do get kicked out of Naples. So actually... Oh,
Austria's
no,
still
they are not
doing
doing really well. They get kicked
They're
out
still
of
doing
Greece and Romania at the same time.
Yeah, they get Bulgaria and Rome. Not getting everything is... It's okay. They're fine.
Okay, and
Losing
Russia's
Romania
just...
from Ukraine is the annoying part,
Obviously, because that makes the Turkish-Russian position much easier to navigate. And Turkey building in Khan is going to be really bad.
So it's not great for sure, but it's not the end of the world.
They are facing a decent juggernaut now.
Yeah,
But Italy's down to 1, and a 1 center, like 1 unit is so much easier to deal with than 2. So
Yep.
really no worries here.
Shall we move along to the...
Yeah,
To the
let's see
winter?
builds.
Yep. Alright, so builds...
You get to build!
yay, I'm so happy.
I do remember being quite conflicted on this build. I think this was what I was thinking of earlier when I said that I put down Fleet London. But...
Sure, instead of Fleet Eddie.
Yeah...
Because London makes sense, you're fighting France.
I feel like maybe Eddie would have been better because I've already shown to Germany that I'm willing to tap Norway for them. I maybe should have just committed and gone for Norway. But London
Yeah.
can kind of do that too, right? The problem is that Heligoland is probably always tapping North Sea, so...
Yep.
Getting
But that's fine,
London out is
right?
hard.
Like, honestly, it makes me want to have an army and just start conflicting with North Sea to just laugh at Heligoland, but...
Yeah. That French fleet is annoying, but also, like, what am I doing here? This is the question. It's...
Well, we're stalling. We're waiting for Italy or Austria to take Tunis off of France.
Yep. Unfortunately, I don't know... Well, I guess, so France has left Marseille open, right? So they can't really just force Spain? They can...
Yep.
We can counter stuff that they're doing here. I don't know. It's going to be a bit of an interesting
Yeah, it's to pour
situation.
myself back into Mid-Atlantic Ocean from Spain. I'm expecting to bounce with Brest.
Yep. Shall we go to the spring?
Yeah, let's see it.
Alright. Spring 1907. I actually don't go for Mid-Atlantic Ocean.
You support yourself in the North Sea. Ah, jeez.
So this is where
That's
Edinburgh would
because
have
the
been
build in
so
London
much better.
sucks.
Yep.
Oh God. Oh, okay, so the reason why this is brutal, right? Because he built the fleet in London, right? He needed to do this sort of conga line, right? By London into North Sea to Norwegian Sea. Because Helgoland is tapping North Sea, he needed to support London into the North Sea. If he just built the fleet in Eddie, he could have moved Eddie to Norwegian Sea. London just holds so it doesn't get bounced, and that would have left English Channel free to do something else, like support Spain into Mid-Atlantic Ocean.
Yep. And Germany is even actually throwing a support for English Channel to Belgium here, so that would never have been the best move for me, I think. But
Yeah, I don't think that was. I mean, I think look, it's good for Germany to do that. I think there's a chance that Germany's saying, "Hey, I'll support you into Belgium next turn." So I would think about that here, right? Because they can double support me in, so that's pretty good, cool. But the problem is, France has repositioned. France is in Marseille, Mid-Atlantic Ocean, and Western Med. So we've lost Spain now.
yes.
Portugal's going to fall, and yeah, we're taking Norway, but Russia wasn't our enemy.
Yeah.
God, that's why we lose, man.
I'm looking back, I'm cringing a bit at my movesets on this, especially the build of F London. It just feels like it's too playing it too safe, like saying, "Hey, I want to be able to go either direction," when I needed to decide on the builds where I was sending that unit.
Well, I think that Fleet London just decided you were attacking France.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was, but like that Fleet London doesn't work that well in attacking France anyway, right? Because if you're going for Mid-Atlantic Ocean, you are bouncing. You can't move London to English.
So it's like London North Sea needs to go to Belgium or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Army London, honestly, to convoy into Belgium. Like,
annoyingly, also, I could have saved myself Spain here anyway if I had just done Spain to Marseille.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I can forgive a little bit more because doing that enables them to take Spain on this turn, but it still
then you would
leaves
have
them in
taken
a
Marseille
weird position on the next turn. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like it's a tough thing. I'm not too worried about that one. The bigger one is just if you want to take Norway, do it. And I don't think you could have afforded leaving Mid-Atlantic Ocean like this. I think you needed to bounce it. And so I just don't think that English Channel supporting London into North Sea was a viable move.
Yep.
Even if you want to go after Norway, I think you just need to accept that it's going to be a next year type thing. And then just because you're going to get bounced somewhere, but bouncing them out of Mid-Atlantic Ocean is such a big deal. But you didn't. All right, so that's fine.
Note, I'm throwing this invalid support just to tell Germany, hey, this is what I'm doing on the next turn. I'm not stopping you from taking Sweden or whatever. I'm letting you take Sweden on the next turn.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, just, again, we're playing with good players. They know what you're doing in Norwegian Sea and North Sea, man.
Yeah, that's true. I just wanted to make sure that they knew. And now also I'm kind of thinking, hey, Germany just supported me into Belgium. I don't actually want them to do that again. I want them to take Belgium themselves because I kind of need English Channel for other things. I need to bounce North Sea for one. So I want France to go down a unit, right?
Sure.
They are losing Tunis to the Italian down in the south. So even if they gained Spain, they should be down one if Germany takes Belgium. But Germany needs to be the person to do that because I cannot afford to let Heligoland bite into the
what a great position for Germany. Right?
Like, hey, I need you to be the one to take that center ally. Please go ahead, take it.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
Wonderful.
Do you want to talk about the East at all? There are some interesting things going on there, I guess.
Well, Italy is taking Tunis. That's good.
Austria took Naples. Good for Austria. And meanwhile, Austria can pull back the rest of their units
to fight.
Yep.
I think this is great. The bounce in Tyrolia. Bad news for them because Germany would have loved to be in there. Russia would have loved for Germany to be in Tyrolia, probably. So,
yep,
that's a funny
Russia
bounce.
would have loved for anyone who's not Austria to be in Tyrolia because it threatens 3 Austrian centers, right? Whereas Bohemia threatens 1. So
totally threatening one's all you need a lot of the time, but it's you'd still. If I guarantee you, if either one of them had known the other one was going into Tyrolia, they would not have done it.
Yep. Right. So, shall we move ahead to the next turn?
Sure. Let's see the fall.
All right.
And we lose Spain.
1908.
And they lose Belgium. That's good.
And
Sweden and Norway fall. Cool. We're not -1. We take Spain off the board.
Hmm.
Okay. I guess we're saying we're going after Scandinavia now. We're trying to make peace with France again.
Yeah,
We'll
so
see how that works.
this is part of a consideration of thinking, hey, okay, I know that I just helped Germany.
Turkey flips?
Oh, okay. Do you want to talk about
Sorry. No, finish your analysis.
No.
Sorry,
Okay.
you're gonna talk about the stuff.
So
Yeah.
my thinking here is, okay, I just took Norway, right? That was fine. I was focused on that. I also needed Germany to take Belgium. Hell yeah, they took it. That takes France down a unit. Perfect. Now what's gonna happen? Well, Germany has 2 builds, and Germany has an enemy fleet in Heligoland Bight. They're gonna put down Fleet Kiel, right? What happens if they put down Fleet Kiel? Well, they will force Heligoland Bight, and then they will attack me. There is no other way for them to go. They have 3 fleets now. As good of an ally as I am, right? If I focus on attacking France, I'm gaining nothing. If I focus on attacking Russia, maybe I gain St. Petersburg in the long term, but then I leave myself open to Germany. I realize at this moment, oh god, I've made a massive mistake by actually letting Germany advance. I am about to get decimated by them if I don't do something. So I need to piece France out. That is the only way I do decently out of this. That's my read on the situation right now.
So CaptainMeme has decided he needs to stab his ally again. But I'm just going to point out that when CaptainMeme flips on his allies back and forth a bunch of times throughout the game, he claims that it's just defensive and oops, they were going to attack me and I have no options, and so that's why it doesn't come across as him stabbing. But he has stabbed more people this game than I stabbed.
Is this
He
you
is a
defending
bigger stabber
C.
than me.
Take dot? This is you.
This is me defending
C.
C. Take dot. I'm just saying, sometimes you can be less of a stabby player by doing one big stab that wins, as opposed to a bunch of little stabs that don't do anything.
Okay, but look at this position and tell me that it's...
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. You're supposed to flip here and stab Germany. It's just like... you're flipping and stabbing your ally again.
Yeah, it is true. I have been forced to do it, but I am doing it.
Forced to do it? No, you're scared. I agree. I think it's right to be scared, but I don't think we're forced to do it. We could just say, hey, Germany's probably not going to attack us.
The really annoying
They only
thing
have
is,
2 fleets.
I think if that fleet in Heligoland Bight wasn't there, I might take that risk, right? I might go, hey, there is some chance that Germany just builds 2 armies and then we're good.
I mean, we're
But
building a
it's
fleet London
too-
either way, right?
Yeah, it's just too good of an opportunity for Germany to build that fleet and have an excuse to do it, right? And then move against me. If they have 3 fleets, there is no way they're not attacking me long term. And I think they
Yeah,
get
because
that.
you just are convinced that anyone who builds fleets is attacking it. And as England? Very fair.
Well, in this situation, I think they don't have many other places to go, right?
Yeah, if they build a 3rd fleet, and France disbands Fleet Helgoland, then they're probably attacking us, and that's fair.
Yep. So I take Spain off the board. I'm gaining Norway, so I do still get the build, right? And this is what's giving me the build at home. I could have retreated into Lyon and kept harassing France. I don't think there's much point to it. I am abandoning that Portugal unit by doing this, but it ties down the French units for a turn, and it makes it clear to France, hey, I'm pivoting, so... hopefully...
Yeah, oops. I goofed.
Yep.
Spain was the mistake. We should have taken Brest instead. Oh, well.
Yeah.
All right, this is a good position for Germany. We'll see what they get to build with their 2 builds.
The most annoying thing about this to me is I think I should have followed your advice and just not gotten involved in the Scandinavian War, and then I would have been fine. Right?
Yeah. But by letting Germany take Sweden, and also not contesting Belgium off of them, then Germany's so strong.
Yep. I needed to keep the balance of power. I didn't. This is the issue.
Yes. Again, as is always, you got to do everything right, and if you make a mistake, it's really bad. All right, cool.
So
let's see. So, and then the East, a thing that I was commenting on and interrupted you about was that Turkey stabs Russia for Sevastopol here.
Yeah.
And doesn't defend Bulgaria.
It's such a weird move.
I mean, it's so weird for Austria to attack Bulgaria,
Yeah.
but also it worked, so that's sick.
But also, like, by forcing Sevastopol, it can retreat into Armenia and screw you over so badly.
Yeah, I think it's crazy for Turkey to attack Sevastopol. I completely agree.
Yep.
I think that Austria is the bigger threat. You can see the board. You can see that Russia is losing Norway and Sweden, so Russia's going to be down to 4 centers this year anyways. We don't need to make them go down to 3. We want, like, Russia is clearly hard committing against Austria, and we need help against Austria because Austria is big and scary and took Greece from us and is at war with us. So we need their help. So I completely agree. I don't like this decision at all to go for Sevastopol.
Yep, but Austria probably likes the decision.
Austria loves this because now Austria's +1 despite all of the ridiculousness.
Aren't they +2?
And Russia's... Sorry?
They're +2, right? They go plus Greece and plus Naples.
Yeah,
and they
I think they
retain
build 1.
Bulgaria. But yes, they get 1 unit. And you see that the German, like, after the German-Russian bounce, this is the curse of Gunboat, right? They bounce in Tyrolia. They both, as you said last time, if they knew that the other was going for it, they wouldn't do it. So both of them don't do it on this turn. And Munich just goes, hey, Russia, take the support, go into Tyrolia. And Russia doesn't. So, again, they are not making progress there. But yeah, so
Yep.
Shall we go
Austria
ahead
is crushing. Yeah, winter. Let's see it.
Alright, winter. This will be a power rankings turn.
Sure.
So I get Fleet London on. Skagerrak and Heligoland come off the board, and suddenly I'm staring down 3 German fleets.
Yeah, with the pissed off France and 4 fleets of your own.
Yep. So, power rankings wise, Austria at the top, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and Italy at the bottom. That's
Yep.
fairly obvious. Where would you
Russia
place people?
second from the bottom.
Yeah, okay. I think that is correct. So, who would you put?
You or Turkey?
It's a difficult one, right? Because I feel like my position is very dependent on whether France decides to accept my...
Yeah, Turkey's position is worse.
Do you think so?
Yeah, Russia's not going to make peace with Turkey.
Yeah, because they're in Armenia. Russia's game is kind of shot at this point, right?
Russia disbanded Bohemia and Galicia, right?
Yeah.
Russia's saying, hey, Turkey, giving him both fingers. He's going to take Smyrna or Ankara, support themselves into Moscow, support themselves into Sevastopol. Maybe even going to support Austria into Romania. Turkey's dead.
Yep.
Actually, Turkey is worse. Who did I put above Russia? No. Russia's going to outlast Turkey.
Do you really think that? I mean, Turkey is Turkey still.
Turkey's dead.
but-
Turkey's dead. Aegean's going to get taken. Armenia is going to blow up Turkey. Turkey's dead. Nope.
I guess I do.
You can leave it. You can leave Turkey above Russia. Russia's going to kill Turkey here.
No, I'll swap them over if you want them swapped over. The, Aegean Sea, I see they are going to lose that, right? They are going to get pushed in on this front. Austria does still have to contend with this Italian fleet in Tunis, so...
No, he doesn't. It's 1 unit. Just ignore it.
That's a fair approach, I guess. If Austria commits fully into Aegean and Eastern Med, yeah, Turkey is probably dead, just because Russia is probably going to suicide onto them. And suiciding onto them with Armenia, it's a pretty effective way to kill Turkey.
Yeah, and Austria just has no enemies anymore because Bohemia and Galicia are both off. So Austria's going to win this game, is the good news. We actually know who the winner is, which is nice. I'm glad that we can have that. But we got to see if you can outlast anyone in the West. Because maybe Germany's like, oh no, Austria's a huge threat here, and Germany starts pulling in a bunch of units to go and deal with that. Like maybe they pull Munich, Berlin, and like Holland or something to pull a bunch of their armies out to the south to try to contain Austria, and then they can't commit everything to killing you. That's your hope.
That was certainly my hope at this point. I'm like looking at the other side of the board and going, I hope to God that resolves quickly, because that is probably my lifeline.
Yeah.
So the at the top of the power rankings, would you go Austria, then Germany, then France? That feels like the correct order to me.
I kind of want to put France above Germany because Germany's too close to Austria.
Mm-hmm.
I think that France is going to take Portugal, and you're not going to attack France. You can't. Germany might not attack France, and France is France. And by being further from Austria, France has an easier time of getting into stuff.
Yep. I think I agree. Alright, so...
But Germany's on 7 centers and France is on 4, so...
There is a difference there, but France is effectively on 5 because Portugal is theirs, right?
Well, effectively on 5 isn't actually on 5. Like, France can lose Burgundy this year.
Mm-hmm. It would be nice for me, certainly, if Germany tries to push in against France and basically makes France's decision for them here, but I don't think they're going to.
Maybe. I think they won't. I think they're too worried about Austria, but maybe they do. And if they do, then France's position kind of sucks.
Do you want to put Germany above France, then? On the 7 dots versus 4 basis?
7 dots versus 4 basis is a really strong argument.
Mm-hmm.
They're really close. Let's put Germany above. Germany's got 7 dots. You gotta respect the dots.
Okie dokie. Right, so Austria, then Germany, then France, then me. I've moved up to the middle of the table. Hell yeah. Then Russia, then Turkey, then Italy.
Maybe Russia's above you.
No, I refuse this. Let's move on to the spring.
Well, Russia's gonna get Turkey killed. He's gonna retake Sevastopol, and then he's gonna die to Austria. You might not die. Alright, fine. We'll get you above.
I have moved ahead to the spring of 1909.
Yeah, already evaluating that. Okay.
Okay, so the supports that are being shown do not have me in high hopes right now. You can see that Holland is supporting Mid-Atlantic Ocean into Liverpool, basically saying, hey, France, I want to work with you, please go.
And Brest is supporting what exactly?
Brest is supporting... Hang on, let me check these orders. Brest supports Holland to Edinburgh.
Yep, that's your center, Germany. It's nice when they're splitting you up ahead of time, when you can see their negotiations happen. That's great.
There is one move here that makes me a bit happier, and that is Munich to Burgundy. Which is... I don't know why you would do that here if you were working with France, or trying to work with France. That feels like it just makes France's decision for them, right? They now have to expel you from Burgundy. They can't deal with England. So... Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that move very much. Maybe they think France can attack you anyways because France is so pissed at you, but... Maybe. I mean, maybe in some games I feel like that might be correct, but I think in a game of this level, you don't anticipate someone just suiciding into someone like that.
I mean, Russia did it.
Yeah, but Russia is kind of dead, right? France is not.
No way, dude. Russia's not dead at all. Russia's playing this really smart.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't attack Russia. Germany's not attacking Russia. Austria might have attacked Russia, but Russia's saying, no. Let's kill Turkey. And Austria's saying, hell yeah. And if Russia makes it clear that Turkey's dead, everyone is going to see Austria's on, 12 centers and then need to attack Austria. And so Russia just needs to stay alive in St. Pete.
Mm-hmm. Actually... Yeah, I just noticed as well, the Russian unit in Ankara can't be ousted, right? Because Turkey pushed their army forward into Bulgaria.
Yep.
That's amusing. I think this just makes the supported attack into Sevastopol from Turkey that much more questionable. Is if you're going to then let the Russian unit run wild in your home centers, why did you put it in Armenia anyway? Why did you, break that alliance with them? It felt a bit too greedy. But yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, Russia is clearly attacking Austria, so they're gonna disband this unit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be really friendly. And then Russia said no.
Yep.
Alright.
So the thankfully one lifeline for Turkey, Italy tapped Ionian for them, which stopped Austria getting Turkey into Aegean.
A little bit.
Yeah, notably, I think Austria should probably have done that the other way around, even though Ionian is a really nice place to be. Because Italy is almost certainly going to tap that, right?
Yeah, I underestimated the likelihood of that. I thought that Tunis could have moved to Western Matter, Tyrrhenian Sea, to be annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Righto.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, also,
Shall I go to fall?
I did like this, my move with Portugal, right? Just like, this unit is sacrificing itself. It did Portugal support Mid-Atlantic Ocean to Portugal, which is not a valid move, as a heads up. You cannot support an enemy into your own center, but it was just like, hey, France, please just take this. And I was really hoping they'd take it from Mid-Atlantic, thinking that I might tap, and so they need to go in that way, but they didn't. They did it the other way, and now they have a nice attack on me possible. Alright, let's go to fall 1909.
Boom. France is defending, and France is saying, hey, let's be friends. Go take Belgium.
Yep. And I think this
And
is
you're attacking Germany.
This is entirely due to the fact that Germany went into Burgundy, right? If they had just self-balanced Burgundy, France probably just gets ready to do the convoy into Liverpool. I guess they can still get ready to do the convoy into Liverpool here. But this turn, at least, they're focusing on making sure that Germany doesn't do anything. And Germany does just try and snipe Paris at the same time.
Yeah?
Attacking everyone at once.
Belgium supports Moscow to Norway? Sure. Hey, Russia, get up here. Go kill him. Whatever, fine.
Yeah, that's... I mean, Russia has the units to build another one in the north and maybe do that now. They did get
but I suspect that army is going to be in Norway. They have two builds. I suspect Army Warsaw, Army Moscow.
I do too.
You gotta try to stay alive.
And suddenly Turkey looking so much worse. Austria this
from
time.
5 down to 2.
And losing Aegean at the same time is just big ouch. There's some interesting tactics here in the north around Scandinavia. You'll note I left Norway open and attempted to just try and take Sweden and go into Denmark. There's like some of this is hedging the fact that English Channel might get cut by Mid-Atlantic Ocean on this turn, so you can't really just issue a support hold with it or anything like that. But also, there aren't a lot of ways that this loses me a dot that I don't also get back, right? Basically, the only way that that happens is if Sweden goes into Norway, Denmark goes into Sweden, and Heligoland, or just Sweden goes into Norway, Denmark goes into Sweden, which is unlikely. Yeah. So, yes. Is there anything more you want to talk about here?
Not really.
Alright, let's just...
Munich to Tyrolia is the relevant move, I think, that maybe we should talk about to say, hey, Germany does realize that Austria is a threat and is still trying to mess with it, but it's also messing with France, and we'll see if that works.
Alright, let's go into winter 1909. Lots of army builds. You are correct about Army Warsaw, Army Moscow. Turkey keeping armies only.
North Fleet, Black Sea, whatever. It's fine. This is the best way to, retake Smyrna, so I guess it makes sense.
Yes, and their biggest threat right now is Austria, right? And Austria is... If you can barricade yourself in the Turkish homeland, you've got a chance at just holding out there forever, but it's kind of difficult.
Not with the fleet,
yeah.
Right? When they have superiority, like Aegean supports Bulgaria to Khan. It's oof.
You gotta rely on this Italian fleet helping. I am surprised that Austria built Army Trieste. I feel like Fleet Trieste is probably correct at this point.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you already have 2 fleets as Austria.
That's enough, right? You don't need any more than that.
Austria can solo with only armies.
Yeah, this might not be immediately obvious to people, I guess, because Austria does probably have the fleets to take Turkey at this point, and they can obviously go for the line, go for Warsaw, Moscow, Sevastopol, try and get their dots from here. If you're thinking long term in terms of what centers do I need to solo, you probably need Tunis as Austria in this position, and this is kind of difficult to get if you don't have more fleets than you have right now.
Yeah, you can also just make do with the blitz that get Kiel, Berlin, and Munich.
It's
because you're
so
going to take Turkey pretty easily.
Right? you have to time that really well, and you can't really hold them.
Well, I mean, that's why I think it's now. I think that's why the army build is reasonable.
I feel
Right,
like
it's
this
safe.
is too early to go for the blitz, right? You've only got 10 centers. You need 8 more. You still need to crack Turkey and take these Russian gods.
Okay, I don't agree we need to crack Turkey. Turkey's cracked.
I don't know. I think it might be more difficult than you're making out there.
Russia is in Smyrna, and Russia has suicided into Turkey. I don't expect them to coordinate to stay alive.
Okay, but let's say you do go for the blitz on the German line here, right?
Yeah.
How are you going to take Warsaw, Moscow, Sevastopol?
Well, I'm in Silesia and Bohemia, right?
Well, then you're not taking Berlin and Munich with those units.
No, then I get into Prussia and Silesia and Bohemia, and then I take Warsaw.
But then Germany will just come back and take Munich and Berlin off you while you're doing that, right?
And then you kill them. Then England kills them because England has been attacked by them all game, and Austria's not soloing yet. As you said, Austria's only at 10 centers, and so you could probably sneak it out.
You do have to be relying on England being someone who isn't that alert to a solo threat in order to make that happen. I think I am the wrong person to trust that. I am quite alert to solo threats in these games. One of the things.
Yeah, but you also went for Yorkshire pudding and Olivo too, so I don't care too much what England thinks about them.
Oh my god.
No, again, it's fine. And so soloing is always a thing when people just have to get pissed to give you the solo. Strategically, Austria can't solo from here, obviously. But does the fleet mean Austria can solo from here? Not really.
This is kind of the ideal position for being a solo threat, though all of the Western powers are still kind of even and all fighting, which...
Absolutely. Oh, I do agree with that. It's ideal, but even an ideal solo position when you're only at 10 centers is just not a soloing position. You haven't...
Yep.
Strategically, they're gonna stop you. You can't break France. Russia's the only power at 10 that you can be like, oh, this guy actually has a reasonable shot to a solo from here because of their position on both sides of the stalemate line. Maybe if you're a 10 center Italy, you can get there too. If you have Portugal, Spain, and Marseille, and then the East is looking wrecked. But solos are really hard, and if you're one of the countries, the many that are on only one side of the line, it's really hard to see a likely solo coming up. And given that all of Austria's centers are on the eastern side of the line, it's really easy to stop. Which is usually the case with Austria. It's really hard for Austria to have a bunch of centers west of the line because Austria doesn't have the fleets to crack France usually, and trying to take Kiel, Berlin, and Munich is tough. So.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I guess we can see how this Austria approaches the whole situation as we go forward. So shall we just go to spring 1910?
Yeah, let's see it.
Alright, so, spring 1910. I am not defending against the potential move into North Atlantic / Irish Sea here, which was a bit risky, but I think as long as this German unit is in Burgundy, France is probably going to be trying to oust it.
So then we're going to do our best to keep that German army in Burgundy.
Well, you'll note I didn't try and tap Belgium or take Belgium as France tried to make me do here.
But also we lost Skagerrak.
Yep, more Diplostrat Siren in the background, sorry about that. But we did lose Skagerrak, which is really painful here. I would have preferred for that not to be the case. And, I mean, the good counter to this was just to move Skagerrak up to Norway and be a bit less greedy. I tried to get an offensive position in Scandinavia when I should probably have gone defensive here. Unfortunately, now I can lose Norway. I might not lose Norway because they do have to both tap North Sea and cover Denmark if they want to be safe, and they can't do both of those, right? But there is certainly a chance that I lose Norway here. Yeah. So,
Oof.
Yep. It is painful to lose Skagerrak. That is just how it be. I really wish I'd, have moved. I don't know. What could I have done here? It's
I mean,
really
after
just
the fact, North Sea
Skagerrak.
to Denmark, English Channel support, Skagerrak to North Sea.
Yeah. But that's the kind of moveset you only do if you actually know what the enemy is doing, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so
insane to do that.
situational.
Yep. No, I think Skagerrak is probably cooked. Like, just looking at your position here, it's really very annoying. I really like this German moveset.
Mhm.
I think that's really, really good.
Yep.
Because Skagerrak is so likely to get disbanded here.
I think I should have moved Skagerrak into Norway. There's like no excuse for that.
Yeah, to keep it alive. And I think tapping Denmark is a reasonable move here.
Mhm.
The scary part about tapping Denmark is then you lose North Sea.
Yeah, you need to have a supported attack into North Sea, right, as well. So maybe like Norwegian support English Channel up to north, and then
Yeah,
North Sea
maybe that
taps
order that was
Denmark and
best.
Skagerrak to Norway, but it feels like that's kind of unlikely to do anything. But here it would have worked really well. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a
Game's
difficult
tough.
one. And yeah,
All right. In the east, we see that Austria did crack Turkey, but they cracked Turkey in not the most efficient way, presumably because they were worried about Ionian tapping Aegean, and so they thought they could take Tunis this way. Like Ionia would get into Aegean, and then Greece would walk into Tunis, and then Italy's this annoying fleets handled, and then Constantinople's we're still winning. So I think that's what they were expecting, and this is still a fine position because Italy can't really mess with us. They have to cover Tunis, and we're in con, so Turkey's not happy.
yep. Obviously, if you knew Italy was going to do this, I don't know why Italy went back to Tyrrhenian Sea. That's a bit of an interesting move.
It's a good place to be. Tyrrhenian borders 3 centers. Ionian only borders 2.
But yeah, if they'd done the obvious move of attacking Aegean here, they would have been outmaneuvered and killed. So this was much better for them. So yeah, and Russia and Austria bounce in Cilicia, so not much happens over there. I am surprised that Germany is still trying to hold on to Burgundy. I'm really surprised by that. I feel like they should have fallen back and just tried to get France to attack me. Because at this point as well, it's like thinking about what the end game is going to be like is super important. What is the end game of this game going to be like? Austria is clearly the threat to win. There is no chance you're getting to the solo before them, right? So it's kind of a case of playing for the best draw you can. Importantly, this game didn't have a proper scoring system set, so we didn't know whether it was like draw-based scoring where you have to cut out as many people or just do as well on supply centers as possible. But either way, you need to be playing towards one of those, right? And I feel like letting France attack me is beneficial to both. So yeah, shall we go to fall 1910?
Yeah, let's see it.
Alright, fall 1910. Here we go. Yeah, it's a painful turn. You will note that Germany takes Norway off of me. Ouch.
Yes.
I do try and...
Yeah, you couldn't tell from the noises.
Yep. That was what the noises were about, just as a heads up. It's not.
I'm not dying.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm just that misguess. That's an oof.
This is such a painful misguess. Like, I assumed Heligoland would be tapping North Sea, so I couldn't support whole Norway. I go for Denmark instead, and they protect
it's
Denmark
like a
and
book.
defend it.
Not quite like a book. They could have supported Sweden into Norway.
Yep. But they go with Skagerrak.
At least they get to retreat into St. Petersburg.
Yeah, I have this retreat, and I take this retreat. I know it's going to annoy Russia, but I want the build.
Yeah, I'd rather have the dot than you have the dot.
Yes, and also...
See, this isn't stabbing an ally, right? This isn't a stab.
I mean, I was never allied to Russia, so this is
I guess. I mean, you like didn't attack them for like a year and a bit.
Hmm.
But also, I just don't think that's a stab. Even if I was completely allied with someone, if I'm retreating and they have an open center next to me, and I'm like need the unit, I'm gonna retreat into their center. Like that's
I
not a
think
stab.
here it's more important because St. Petersburg is behind the stalemate line that you expect Austria to be stalemated on, right? Which is like this Moscow, Livonia, Prussia, Silesia. They're standing on those centers. So St. Petersburg is kind of Russia's place to survive if they do want to survive against Austria. I have just sniped that from them, and if they do want to live, they might just throw as much as they can into getting that back. But I feel like I need the dot at home, 100%. And I don't really care if Russia gets St. Petersburg back. I might just take that fleet off the board. I just need a unit back at home to make sure that France doesn't like come up and attack me, or just to solidify North Sea's position. Yeah. So you will also notice that I did not help France at all. I tried to make sure that they aren't taking anything, but like there's only so far I can influence that, and they do manage to get Burgundy despite Germany trying to keep it, just by doing that on their own. So yeah.
Yep. All right, let's see builds, eh?
All right, yeah. Let's go ahead to the builds. So winter 1910. It's a power rankings turn as well. Everyone is still alive, incredibly.
Yep.
So Italy is last. Turkey probably still second last, right? Or does Russia drop? No, Russia doesn't drop yet.
Nah. Definitely Turkey.
Then Russia. So these are basically still the same.
Yep.
Then England. Yep. Then France. Then Germany. Then Austria. So these are all staying exactly the same.
Right. Exactly the same. No reason to change it. And there's that fleet build that you're hoping for.
Yep, Fleet Edinburgh. It is to defend Norwegian Sea, but also just in case France comes up into North Atlantic Ocean or Irish Sea. At least I have a unit that can rotate back against it, right? So let's go to spring 1911.
I hate these invalid orders, man.
They do make the board a lot more messy. This is true.
Belgium supports Mid-Atlantic Ocean to Irish Sea. Fine.
Mid-Atlantic Ocean to Liverpool, even. They were trying to get me all the way through.
Oh, Liverpool? Sure, whatever, fine.
Yeah. So France tries to set up this convoy, and I am kind of wise to the fact, hey, they just got Burgundy out. I do still want to be on France's side, so I send the invalid support order onto Mid-Atlantic Ocean, going, hey, I want to be your friend.
Yeah, instead of a valid support of English Channel support something into Belgium.
Mm-hmm. But it's also a sign of, hey, I want you to be in control of this province against the inevitable Austrian rolling that's going to happen soon.
Yeah, but it's just that doesn't matter. So they're going to cut you out and they're going to form a stalemate line and then it's done.
Yes, but I do manage to predict this. I go English Channel to Wales. It's not a hostile move against France, right? So I feel like I can get away with it, but it does protect Liverpool if they try and set this convoy up, which they do.
So, yeah, but it doesn't really it protects Liverpool technically, but it doesn't really because you're dead. Right? Well, if France attacks you, you're dead.
Mm-hmm. It's possible. At this point, I am certainly all of my eggs are in the basket of Austria needs to start rolling right now and force this guy back to the stalemate line, right?
Yeah, you might technically be able to sneak into the draw if, as you say, they have to get to the stalemate line in time. But I don't... France can defend the stalemate line so easily by taking centers off of you that France could probably attack you, and Germany can use their armies to hold the stalemate line while their fleets kill you, so...
Mm-hmm. You will note I'm somewhat optimistically going St. Petersburg support hold Norway and going, hey, everyone in the West, we can be friends and deal with Austria, right? Just stalemate them.
Yeah.
But this is
again, they can, but they just don't need you.
Do that, yeah.
Yeah.
So if we go to fall of 1911?
Yep.
All right, and you will note that Russia was moving full force up against me to try and get St. Petersburg back. Germany actually throws me a support hold on St. Petersburg. Goes, no, Russia, you cannot have it back. I am letting England have it. Which, that is a huge benefit to me, right? There is one person in the West who is fine with me being in this draw. Potentially. At the same time, I defend Liverpool, and I'm just throwing these supports on, hey, Mid-Atlantic Ocean, go to Western Med, please just solidify this line against Austria, let's just position for this draw, right? And Salt says no.
Yeah, also, I don't like holding North Sea anymore. I think we need to actually go... Now I'm saying North Sea. But yeah, I think now we need to get into Clyde and London.
Yes, I think I should have done that. I didn't know whether Germany was going to be on my side or not, because it was only, on the last turn they ordered Norway support Moscow into St. Petersburg. So,
it's just either way, we need... At the end of the game, right, once it's a stalemate position, you don't want to be threatening anyone. You want to give them full flexibility to do whatever they want, and France is clearly attacking you, so we just need to go and stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, France is going to kill me, so let's stop France from taking anything.
Yeah, importantly here, I did prevent the convoy, which would have been a death sentence, I think, if it goes through. So and they have moved out of position to convoy at all.
The convoy into Liverpool, anyways. The convoy to Clyde still works, but
yes, it would have. But I kind of, just by moving into Wales, the fact that both of these could be covered, they had to predict that I may have covered both of them, right?
Yeah, but you can't cover Liverpool anymore.
Mm-hmm. I am really annoyed I didn't move to Clyde on this turn. I think I should have done. You are correct. I was holding North Sea, just going, I don't want Germany to push out into here, but here, if I do cover Clyde, then France can't make any progress at all, right? So,
well, I mean, they can't take Liverpool, but to say no progress at all, right? They can just reposition themselves into Irish Sea and English Channel, and then convoy to Wales, and it's not like things go better for us.
They can't make quick progress, is the important point. And speed at this point is super important because Austria is moving onto this stalemate line.
Okay, I also don't think it's that important because France has multiple armies that they can pull into Gascony and Marseille. With 3 armies, they basically have the stalemate line already held. They just need to get move a fleet from North Atlantic Ocean to Mid Atlantic Ocean, and I think they're actually fine.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because the France's stalemate is so absurd. Not
the French stalemate position, yes, but you do also note that Burgundy right now is actually required in order to hold Munich. So moving past that is a little bit awkward, and also the German position isn't really solidified. They need to get Sweden into Baltic as well, in order to make this line secure.
Yes, but these are a bunch of in one phase. If Austria was magically teleported to 16 SCs, then yes, I think we're going to see a lot of these moves done right now. But if Austria is on 17 SCs, let's say Austria has already taken Smyrna and Ankara and Warsaw and Moscow, right? They've gained 4 centers this phase magically. You guys still have a stalemate.
Yeah, that is true.
That's how ridiculous the stalemate is from this Western position. And yes, that would require North Atlantic Ocean and Irish Sea to pull back, and you're not in that position. You've got a year or two before Austria has secured all of those centers, so the West has time to make guesses and kill you.
Yeah, shall we go into the winter?
Yeah. Winter of 11.
So here we see Fleet Trieste put down, so another fleet, just to put some pressure on Tunis. And Warsaw comes off, and that's all the adjustments. So let's go through to the spring. Spring 1912.
All right.
This is where the board is going to start getting really dirty with all these supports.
Yeah, they're just coordinating the stalemate line, right? I'm assuming these things are trying to say, hey, France isn't even doing.
They're mostly from me telling France, what the hell are you doing? Go down there, please, with your fleets.
Yeah, but you're fine. The stalemate line is safe. He moved Brest into Gascony even. There's no worries. Whatever. Yeah, you're doing your best. I understand.
Okay, so I'm throwing a lot of support saying, hey, get your fleets down here, man. And Germany is also doing the same, right? They even put, I think this unit is supporting, Munich is supporting Picardy to Marseille. You'll note Austria throwing a random support saying, hey, Germany, please attack France for me. That is never happening. That is a good way to lose all your points if you are Germany in this position.
Yep.
But Tunis is actually in a pretty dangerous position right now, right? As in, these French fleets are very committed to the north. And Austria can pretty... Like, there's some guesses that have to happen. But they can take Tunis pretty quickly.
Yep.
It doesn't get them to 18, but it does get them to 17, and maybe France is good with that and just wants to hold the line behind that, but it is a bit risky, especially if he's going to try and continue killing me because I'm the one holding St. Petersburg. So if Austria goes into Livonia and Moscow, I can just walk out and let Austria take the win if I want to.
Yep, so that's why I expect to see Germany take St. Pete.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because I don't want... I'd want to be the one... A one-center power in St. Pete is scary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like one-center powers in the stalemate line. I want to just have it myself. And, I mean, Denmark and North Sea can still do that, right?
Yep. Norway and North Sea, yeah. They can move into Barents and Norway. I was not anticipating that here, because I thought, hey, Germany has been, like, throwing supports on getting France to go south. They're probably gonna be friendly with me, right?
But...
Shall we move ahead?
I've played too many games with spiteful players on one supply center, so...
Yeah. Let's go to fall 1912. And you will note they position to do exactly that, right? They go into Barents, they go into Norway to surround me. Important note, I took off Liverpool on the last turn to make sure to say to France, hey, I'm done fighting you. Please just go south. I'm okay with you having that one. Just make sure you secure that line. I'll stay in Edinburgh and London. And I do a half Yorkshire pudding at the same time on this turn. Austria does a really nice move in the fall turn here. Piedmont's support Gascony to Marseille.
I guess, sure. Yeah, it's neat.
It makes sure that France can't build the southern fleet here.
The fleet... It doesn't... The fleet breast gets to Western Med just as quickly.
That is true.
I suppose there could, like, Irish Sea could have gone to Mid-Atlantic Ocean. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose. I guess I see. So
it's a nice move for sure. Right, reducing the number of options your opponents have, like this self bounce. It's always fun to screw with it.
Yeah, an important note.
It's very stylish.
Although the Austrian army isn't in Tyrolia right now, this position still requires Burgundy to be the one supporting Munich once the Austrian army gets into Tyrolia, right? And you will see that France is going, hey, Germany, send Holland to Kiel so I don't have to be doing this.
Yeah. Also, France should back out of Picardy.
Yes. Especially because France is salt. Although no one knew that, of course.
Yeah.
I do love Austria just still going with random support saying, hey, England, take Brest with London. Hey, Italy, do you want to take Spain here? Hey, by the way, Picardy can take Belgium with all these supports. It's not going to convince anyone of anything at this point. Austria is public enemy number one.
Yeah, I mean, they're at 12 centers, gaining whatever, 2 centers at the 14, with Ankara and Smyrna going to fall, so they're basically on 16. Tunis has only a couple of guesses, but Tunis is going to fall. So they're on 17. You can't let them take anything else. So the West has to get its shit together. And the only question is if France has the time to devote 3 units to killing your 2.
Yep. This is exactly the question.
I think they do. I'd have to check it.
Certainly this Tunis bouncing Tyrrhenian Sea here is really good for France, right?
Yeah.
Austria could have done this in a safer way and just gone to Naples and Ionian, and then they would have been positioned to take Tunis on the next year, right? Support.
Yeah, that's what 17. But if you're trying to get to 18, Austria at this point, Spain and Marseille are the only places you have a chance for. So you have to hope that you can get good guesses here against Tunis.
Yep.
And like, look, if Austria had gone into Tunis instead of Tyrrhenian Sea with that guess, then I don't know if France has time. I think it suddenly gets hard. And then the guess to keep Marseille is a big one because France needs to get units back very quickly.
Yes. So basically, if this Austrian guess had gone right, it gains them a huge amount of momentum going forward. I think they could definitely have known that this Russian unit was going to St. Petersburg. They decided to play it safe and support hold Warsaw instead, but supporting Livonia through to St. Petersburg here is... It's alright. Actually, maybe it's not as good as I think. No, because having a Russian army that's just spiting the Western players in there, even if Germany knocks it out, it goes to Finland and then causes havoc. So that would have been a nice thing for them to do here, support Livonia through to St. Petersburg. But it requires them to guess that Germany is going into Barents Sea, which I didn't guess, so it's fair enough. Shall we go ahead?
And also that they weren't trying to take Warsaw, right? Like it requires this to happen, but it might have been fine. You have such a slim shot at soloing as Austria, anyways, so maybe it was worth doing.
Shall we go ahead to winter?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, so here we do see Russia come off the power rankings because they have died.
First elimination in 1912.
That is a pretty impressive one. Turkey is below Italy now, right? Just on the basis that Turkey is
They're
definitely
both gonna
going to
die.
die and Italy might die.
Italy's gonna die, dude. There's no way.
They probably die, but I think there's a better chance of Italy surviving than there is of Turkey surviving here.
Sure. Point 0.00001 versus a couple more zeros. I'll give you $20. I'll Venmo you $20 if Italy survives this game. You give me 1 cent if Italy doesn't. How's that?
Well, I know the outcome, so I'm not gonna place a bet. Out of fairness, of course.
Yeah, alright. I want my cent, CaptainMeme.
Anyways, you can have your cent when we set up a Patreon, like some years into the future, I'm sure.
Anyways, alright, cool. Look, winter 1912, power rankings. Okay. Austria's first, everyone else isn't. Great.
Yeah. It goes Austria, Germany, France, England, Italy, Turkey. But Austria.
Yeah, but again, this doesn't matter because Austria has won the game. Right? This isn't a tournament. There's no points. We're not doing sum of squares for things on web diplomacy or anything. No, it's just Austria won. And the only reason you guys haven't drawn this game, I suspect, is because France wants to eliminate you.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead to spring 1913.
Great.
So you will see a lot more supports on my side. I am
see
moving.
If the game loads. My game isn't loading. Whatever. It's nobody does anything. They'll try to hold the line and see what happens. Yeah.
You can. I'll just explain what's going on while your game is loading. Italy wins another guess in the south, with Austria trying to go into Tunis and Italy just going into Ionian, stopping that move happening. It's a very good guesswork from Italy down here. Austria just crushed. Collapsing. Austria just collapsing in on Turkey. Maybe not in the most efficient way.
No, Turkey's dead this turn. Fine.
Yeah, because you can cover Bulgaria with a fleet. It's alright.
Yep, you support Ankara into Khan, and then Armenia, or support Smyrna into Khan, either way, and then Black Sea covers Bulgaria. Turkey's dead. The key was getting a disband in the spring.
Yes.
Cool.
I moved down to Yorkshire to make sure that France can't take London if they do this moveset, which is exactly what they do. So I'm glad to have gone down there. But I'm also just throwing these supports going, hey, France, please go south. You are required to go south here.
Yeah, and Brest, the Mid-Atlantic Ocean can cover Spain, but with this guess again, the French stalemate line is not even in a little bit threatened.
Yeah, so at this point, Germany also takes St. Petersburg. Austria supports them into St. Petersburg, which I'm not sure I would do in the Austrian position. I feel like I would support hold St.
Scoring,
Petersburg.
right?
Yeah. But if you're assuming it's draw size scoring, then yeah, you can cut out the smaller powers and whatnot. The Germany makes sure that Austria can't get that full line of units on the German homeland front by putting their fleet in Prussia. Which is fine, because if it's forced to retreat, just go back to Baltic and holds Berlin again.
Yep.
So yeah, this is what it's coming down to. France is still attacking me. I am not very happy at this point.
Yep, and France has ages. I don't think you're surviving this one, CaptainMeme.
Shall we go through to the fall?
Sure.
Alright, fall 1930.
Italy does it again.
Italy again does this here. And you will note, I abandon London. I just support myself into North Sea, because at this point I go, okay, I'm gonna die. France has decided I'm gonna die. My last act is gonna be going and tapping Norway so that Austria can take St. Petersburg.
Italy might survive. Holy.
Italy has managed to do pretty well.
It took 3 guesses in a row consecutively, and France getting his unit down here. But it's still just going to be guesswork from here. It's not like Italy's safe yet, because France needs to get many more fleets down.
Yes.
Wow,
Austria
that's
can
crazy.
surround this pretty effectively and still take Tunis. And like this unit in Marseille, it's not exactly pinned. If you do gain a build, you can maybe cycle a unit out and get a fleet there, but it's not in a good spot to be doing that.
Yep.
Yeah. So at this point, right, my plan is just, hey, I'm going to go tap Norway and give the win to Austria. Because Austria probably gains Tunis in the long run. If I give them St. Petersburg here, then they can win. I was anticipating Austria goes up to Livonia and puts some pressure on St. Petersburg to be able to do that. But no, they decide to go to Ukraine and Galicia.
Yep.
Which makes me so sad, because they are throwing away a solo here in order to allow me to get eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, it's because of all the guessing from Italy, it's not even guaranteed that it would be a solo, right?
I don't think it's guaranteed, but it's pretty likely if France keeps committing. Because France doesn't get a build until the next turn, right? The next year.
Yeah, and if Austria takes St. Pete, then it takes a lot of units to recapture it.
Yes. It's important, and I keep that fleet on for at least the next year, and possibly longer if Austria tries to support me into Norway or something like that. Even if the German units do oust the unit in St. Petersburg, the Austrian one, it can retreat to Finland and then be very annoying and potentially pull another Austrian army through. Which,
might give them enough time.
The problem is,
but instead Austria backs out to say, hey, no, you guys can cut England, just fine.
Annoyingly, even if Austria had kept the units in Warsaw and Moscow here and not gone to Livonia, I still could have cut Norway. The fact that I'm here and ready to cut Norway probably signals to them that they go to Livonia in the spring of the next turn and then take St. Petersburg in the fall, right? But having moved back to Galicia and Ukraine, it now takes them a full year to get into position, by which point I might be dead. Even if I'm not dead, Germany can now move this Prussia fleet to Baltic to Bothnia and hold St. Petersburg from there. So
yeah, plus Germany's building, right? Because they took St. Petersburg off of you.
Yes, that is true. And
so they can hold even another fleet.
Kiel.
So that fleet can go to Baltic. It's done.
I was so sad this turn. I was like, okay, well, I am going to punish France for being horrible to me. And then Austria kind of ruins it. But yeah, so let's go ahead to the winter of 1913 here. You will see.
I might have gone ahead a couple of years.
Okay, I'll just talk my way through these couple of years then.
Yeah, sorry.
I generally try and survive, so I'm tapping Denmark to make sure Germany can't get their fleets up, and then I think I go into Skagerrak on the next turn. If I move forward to the fall here, yeah, I'm going into Skagerrak. Ezio, go to fall 1914 a second.
Okay.
Okay, do you see the Austrian communication here? It's quite amusing. So this is not something you have the opportunity to do very much in Gunboat, but it is technically legal.
So he's trying to spell something, I assume?
Yep. Can you read it? It did take me a little while to see.
Looks like there's a W in Turkey.
Hmm.
An A in the south, like the stuff, whatever, right?
Yep.
An Ionian Tyrrhenian Sea. That's an A, I think. Is that a P? With like Piedmont and Venice?
It's not quite. It's supposed to be a D, but it's
Sure.
a
Okay. Yeah,
little
it's tough
off.
to get a true D.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was over likely. Okay, so it's D. Is that an X?
No.
With Silesia Budapest?
Nope.
No. I can't read, man.
It's an R. So it spells out draw. And then the two units in the middle, the Vienna and Albania, are writing a 3. So three-way draw is what this is supposed to mean. Village Idiot's got nothing on this, right? Writing out the, that's maybe an older Diplo
Village Idiot was doing this stuff in WebDip, right?
No, he was doing it on Backstab as well.
Got it.
But this was the problem is you very rarely have this many units to spell stuff out with.
Yeah. All right. Great.
But yeah, so he spelled out three-way draw. He's not willing to go for the solo, even with me trying to get into position to tap Norway. And, Germany doesn't even move into the defensive position on St. Petersburg, so I could have still thrown to him if he goes north at this point. But yeah, I just keep my one fleet alive by hitting Edinburgh here. I keep Skagerrak on the board. From Skagerrak, I'm looking at the situation in winter 1914, going, hey, I'm almost certainly dead. They're going to cover Norway, Sweden, Denmark 100%, so I go out to North Sea, just in the hope I can snipe something from North Sea to stay alive. But that one's practically impossible, and you'll see in full 1915, I do in fact die. I attempt to take Belgium and fail, but there was no SC open for me to go into, so I'm cut out of the draw. And Austria is signaling very hard on the same turn that they want Tunis dead before they'll draw. They already wrote out three-way draw, right? So if you go into spring 1915, they do the same thing, use every unit to support Western Med into Tunis. And then fall 1916, that Tyrrhenian Sea actually does go into Tunis and take it. And then from that position, the winter 1916 is the draw.
I love how Salt still takes it from Tyrrhenian Sea.
Yep. He's doing it on his own terms. On the way that will definitely work. But yeah, so Italy gets cut out of this draw. It ends up being a three-way draw because Backstab.
Italy outlasted you. That's really funny.
Italy outlasted so many. They outlasted Turkey. They outlasted Russia, and they outlasted
everyone except for the draws. Man, that's a good game from Tyler. That's really sad.
Yeah. It was a very funny game in the early game. It made me sad in the end game. I think this raises, Austria is very much, they said afterwards that they were viewing the game as draw size, right? You can see that from the way they played. Making sure that they cut the game down to 3 players. It brings up one of the problems I have with draw size, which is that the stuff that you need to do to get a better draw in draw size is often the opposite of what you want to be doing if you're going for a solo, right? Stuff like backing off of the line so that the small powers can be killed on the other side. I don't like that style of play, and I would have much preferred if Austria had just taken my goddamn support, had gotten themselves into St. Petersburg when I had the ability to take Norway. But it's possible they wouldn't have taken Tunis anyway. Italy had a lot of lucky guesses down there, so very good on them. And yeah, a very fun game all around. Ezio, what is your opinion on the Brexit strategy? I mean...
You need to get 3 armies first. Then you need to have 3 armies out on the British mainland, and then you can call it the Brexit strategy.
Mm-hmm. Well, is it not acceptable if I have a fleet like that? This isn't.
If you have
Brexit.
Fleets on, it doesn't work. No, Brexit needs to be armies only. You need to have only 3 armies on the British mainland, and then you need to Yorkshire pudding with those 3 armies.
Mm-hmm. So that was the problem. I had too soft of a Brexit. I needed a hard Brexit.
Yep, hard Brexit. You can't influence the mainland. The mainland can't influence you. No one's ever going to take your centers. Yep.
All right. Well, that has been a particularly interesting game. I actually
Guys,
do.
if you send me... Okay, here's a promise I'll make. If you send me a game when you do this against real players in a real game, ideally a tournament with stakes on the line, I'll review it on this channel. I'll do a full game review.
This is
absolutely.
This is a call out to the viewers, right?
Yeah, the viewers. Not you, Captain
again.
Oh, actually, I mean, if you do this in a tournament, I'll review that.
Oh
Hell
my
yes.
god. Okay, I should say I do not endorse using the Brexit strategy all the time. I think it is very specific to when you have a horrible start and need a defensive position, and even then it's a little questionable. But yeah, if you do it, we will review it. That is what has been declared by Ezio.
Again, the Brexit needs to have 3 armies.
Okay, well that's not gonna happen, but...
I'm putting it out there. If you do it, if you go full Brexit with only 3 armies as your only 3 units, as England, in Liverpool, Eddie, in London, and do Yorkshire pudding in a game, send us that screenshot. I'll review that game.
Oh my god. Alright, well, I actually do have to go now because I think I'm setting up the Imperial diplomacy server start in 3 minutes. So we've done this in a pretty exact time frame. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.